for $19 a month with the Preferred Partner Plan and be ready for the first heat wave. AirComfortService.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Ray.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. We're grateful to be with you this afternoon. There's a lot going on right now in the world, which involves the President of the United States making a trip overseas to China. And having watched Fox yesterday, I was like, where is everybody? The last time I tuned in to watch Fox News, and they had all of their hosts gone in the evening, kind of on a rando day. They were all at the state dinner with King Charles. So that made sense to me. And then last night, the Monday, I'm like, why does Jesse Waters get Mother's Day proper off? He shouldn't get that off. Well, it turns out, I think the primetime lineup is going to China and traveled there ahead of schedule. The president will be departing now for China. And there's a lot at stake with what the president is looking to accomplish. Maybe not accomplish. Fox News reports the Trump administration is ramping up pressure on China over what United States officials describe as Beijing's economic and material support for Iran and Russia ahead of Trump's upcoming summit with President Xi Jinping. So what will materialize out of this China visit? What is the goal? Is it a happy meeting? Is it a contentious meeting? We have Russia and Ukraine still at conflict, and China and the United States have been on opposite sides of that, certainly. And we have, of course, the United States in partnership with Israel trying to denuclearize Iran. And as Fox News and Morgan Phillips there reports, watching China's behavior in here hasn't exactly been supportive of the United States. Although I have heard President Trump say multiple times that he's been kind of impressed that Russia and China specifically didn't get more involved, that they've kind of, I guess, in part minded their business. Senior administration official told reporters Sunday that Trump has already spoken multiple times with Xi about, quote, the revenue that China provides to both these regimes, and therefore, as well as dual-use goods, components, and parts, not to mention the potential of weapons exports. Went on to say, quote, I expect the conversation to continue. So that conversation will continue. If the United States gets into some sort of agreement with China on maybe not full-on supporting the United States part of the war, but maybe not supporting Iran's side of things, then I don't really know where Iran has left to turn. Russia can't necessarily sustain some sort of partnership while they're in the midst of a war themselves and losing men in the process. It's not like Iran has many friends left. And it looks as though we're in the bottom of the 8th inning maybe in the conflict with Iran, and they really need to close it, get it done. And having China in the right position on the issue, even if it's not an active one, but maybe it's a more passive position, President Trump will look to secure that type of a deal. Andrew Harding is going to be with us from the Heritage Foundation. He's a policy analyst for national security and Indo-Pacific affairs, a China expert. He's going to be with us at 1:30. So the questions that you have are probably the same questions that I have, and I will try to ask those midway point through the show at 1:30 when Andrew Harding joins us. I'm excited to talk to Luke Rosiak. I don't know, Ryan, if you're familiar with Luke. He is an investigative reporter with the Daily Wire. We've talked a lot with Dustin Grage in Minnesota. He's with Town Hall, and he has been doing grassroots reporting on fraud in Minnesota long before it was a national story. Now, Nick Shirley comes in and partners up with another gentleman in Minnesota that had a lot of the evidence, a lot of the receipts, so to speak. Maybe the receipts that the daycares didn't exactly have. Of all this corruption and fraud that's taking place. Well, that's not the only place that it's happening. Ohio is experiencing something very similar, and Luke Rosiak is an investigative reporter with the Daily Wire, and he has an investigative series that we're going to talk to Luke about called Medicaid Millions, and we're going to hear about Ohio fraud.
So if he's focused on Ohio and he's coming up next, I would like to hear whether what he's talking about, because you mentioned Minnesota, we've talked about California, is it every state in the union that has this same level of fraud and we're just starting to pick it off one by one?
I would imagine there are some that have much more. It's not so much the quantity of the fraud as it is maybe our ability to have some people in the state that are willing to
address it.
Well, no, cooperate. You know, like if you want to go ask the questions, I'm guessing it's a little easier in Ohio, maybe Minnesota, to find some souls who will say, yeah, let's take a look at that. I don't know that you're going to get that in Illinois and California. I think it would be harder.
I guess I'm curious, too, as to if this is happening in red states, because Ohio is basically a red state at this point, a little bit of a swing state, but mostly red. If this is happening across the board, this level of fraud, it's the same scheme no matter where you go. Are red states dealing with it now better, or have they dealt with it ahead of this and we're just finding out about it now because blue states and some red states haven't dealt with it? Well,
what we're going to do is we're going to keep asking questions of the people who have been asking questions and keep working to give them a platform so that we can learn. You know, of course, I want to know what's the big number? How much fraud are we talking about in Minnesota? How much fraud are we talking about there in Ohio? I kind of want to study what they're doing so that, you know, I don't know that I have the investigative chops to go in and root out what's going on in the state of Illinois, but the more we expose it, I think the more that people who are listening can ask questions like, oh, you know what? I know about this location that is a daycare, but I've never seen a child there. Or in Minnesota, there are a lot of transportation companies that are alleged to be fraudulent, where they have fleets of cars that don't move they sit over a year that they've just been sitting there. And if these stories are made more known, I think that more citizens can be keen to what their experience is, and then we can look into it. I'm waiting for the one time where some 20-something investigative journalist with a YouTube channel blows the lid off of some fraud, and then the people who are alleged to have been frauds are like, no. We've got a fully enrolled daycare here, and here are all our receipts, and you're completely wrong. Is that happening? Are we seeing these big stories, these big national stories where they come out and Nick Shirley makes all these allegations and then they're like, oh, Nick, that was a total grift. And he got a ton of exposure on it, a ton of clicks. And that wasn't accurate. Are we seeing that? I don't think we are.
Not with fraud. Now, we have seen Nick Shirley try to expose one of the only time that this has happened. And this is why it's important to mention it, is because when it happened, it was called out immediately, because it kind of proves your point that the rest of them weren't called out, that he tried to expose an apartment building that was maybe the source of some fraudulent votes. Well, then somebody went back and checked and said, no, that's actually not accurate. He was fact-checked. I think he even said, yeah, okay, I was wrong about that one. But that means that the rest of these things have not been disproven. Well, what does that say? It means they're probably true.
How beneficial would it be for the left right now if they were able to do that? You know, toss them up and they hit them out of the park. That's another bullcrap lie, and you're just trying to, you know, be racist, because a lot of times the allegations here are racist when it doesn't actually. I just think it's not just the smoke that we see. We can see the embers of what is going on here. We can identify there's a real problem here. And yes, President Trump is going to China. Yes, he's going there to talk about maybe some things that have to do with the foreign policy conflicts that are taking place in the world, but they're absolutely going to be talking about trade. And I think that President Trump and President Xi of China have a mutual respect for each other's power and influence in a way that allows both of them to identify the other person as a unique individual who can get them something they want. And that person on the other side of that negotiation is the only person who could get them what it is that they want. Now, I don't know what those things are for China. I have an idea of some things that President Trump, which includes tariffs and fair trade and all of that. But I think that they understand power, and I think they understand and respect the power that the other individual holds. And I think that they're both smart enough to navigate that situation in a way that the outcome may look good for both. And President Trump is not afraid to let President Xi have wins and victories that he goes back and champions. If President Xi goes back to China, not like he needs to like win the support in the way that a politician in the United States might. But if President Trump knows that President Xi is going to go back and champion X, Y, and Z, if President Trump in his mind thinks that that's not in the to the detriment of the United States, he doesn't have any problem letting his counterpart in a negotiation get big wins if he feels as though he got big wins. So what might materialize from this? We will talk at 1:30 with Andrew Harding from the Heritage Foundation about it to really feel out what's the goal here. In the words of SNL Tucker Carlson, what's the plan? What's the goal? Our YouTube poll for today is about the age-old question, Ryan. Did Donald Trump actually win the 2020 presidential election?
Oh, thank you.
Now, we're not going to go too terribly far into this. And I'm going to tell you right now, the options are yes, no, and I'm not sure. And I'm not sure, which I think is, for me, a step in a different direction than what I probably would have said comfortably before on the air. But this is Susie Wiles, who's the White House chief of staff. And this is within the last few weeks, I believe.
Leaving the White House, he called me and invited me to dinner, which I was not in the inner circle. I was just overwhelmed. I couldn't imagine why. I drove down to Mar-a-Lago, which I think he thought I live, 10 minutes from there, but it's really 4 hours. And we had a lovely dinner, and at the end of it, he wanted to know why he won Florida, but maybe struggled in some other states that I think we're going to find out he actually did win.
So you're saying that we are going to find out. That's the key that I am focusing in on right now, is Susie Wiles saying that I think we're going to find out. Now, the rest of that sentence is that he did win. I'm not going to focus too much for my own personal interest on the that he did win portion of that, because the information will bear out what it bears out, but that we're going to find out. That, to me, is a pretty public statement from the White House administration that we are going to find out things that we don't currently publicly know right now. And I, for one, would love to know the factual information behind what actually happened, be it that he got trounced in Pennsylvania or that he lost Michigan and Wisconsin big, and all of the evidence and the investigation bears that out. I just want to know what the truth is so we can stop talking about it. But we're going to ask you the poll today, and we want you to vote. Did Donald Trump actually win the 2020 presidential election? Yes, no, or you're not sure. And your texts are going to be fun, and Ryan's just going to spend the whole show reading your text messages and not listening to me. So send them to 314-241-9797. You're probably going to get these people's numbers and text them back and just start conversations.
Yeah, we're just going to talk if that's okay.
When we come back, we're going to speak with Luke Rosiak. When we're talking about fraud, there's fraud on all different fronts. With Luke at the Daily Wire, we're going to talk about fraud in Ohio next. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw. When we meet our clients for the first time, they have built up a lifetime of savings. Their question is, what can we do with this money so we can live comfortably the rest of our lives? First, we develop a strategy to protect your nest egg from any market losses. Then, we build your own personalized structured income plan that will generate you an income the rest of your life. We put you in control of your money.
You've earned it, and it's our job to make sure you enjoy it. Let our team show you how you can have the retirement of your dreams. Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. You will also get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping retirees and pre-retirees retire with confidence for 40 years. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
What if you had a plan to build income outside your job? At Lifestyles Unlimited, you'll learn how people are investing in real estate to grow their income and make smarter financial choices one property at a time. Right now, join us for just $297. That's a savings of $443 off our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
With summer here and the kids home full time, your garage door will see a lot more use. Do it a favor with annual maintenance from Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The 26-point tune-up is one price for up to 3 garage doors and openers. Get them all done. Trusted in St. Louis for 100 years. Always look for the genuine, the original red ribbon of Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Since 1926, they're never going to steer you wrong. Schedule online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Trump speaking on Full Measure with Cheryl Atkinson, who's been a guest of our show in the past, talking about the 2020 election and saying very confidently, yes, it was rigged. That's not new. That President Trump has been saying that the whole time. It really is kind of the cardinal sin, I think. Is that the number one sin in the Democrats' eyes? The January 6th. I think that is the worst of it.
Are you saying January 6th with vote rigging like all as one topic? Because
I think January 6th is it's the culmination
of that
of the election was rigged.
Okay.
That phrasing or that mentality, and they just I don't know. There's more. I want to know more about January 6th and how that materialized almost than I do the actual 2020 election. There's just fraud everywhere you look. You go from one place to the other, and it feels like there's fraud everywhere you look. And as soon as smart people start digging, they start finding more fraud. And so you gotta lean into these stories.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What are you going to do about all this fraud? You hear
Yeah, we were just talking to this other lady about that.
hear about it in California.
You got to get aggressive. I mean, I think you can't just, most people try to sweep it under the rug. I say expose it, go after it, prosecute it,
Yeah.
and then put that money back in your pocket.
I mean, if you got rid of the fraud, you could balance the budget.
Absolutely.
So much fraud.
We were talking about welfare fraud, you think about Medicaid fraud, all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get rid of all those leering centers in Ohio.
Yeah, and also work requirements. A lot of people aren't following them.
Yeah.
We got to do it.
So Vivek Ramaswamy, of course, running for governor, just resoundingly won the primary in Ohio for governor. And he's talking with a voter there, and they are saying in Ohio, we want the fraud exposed. Let's get to our guest. Luke Rosiak joins us right now, investigative reporter at the Daily Wire. His investigative series is entitled Medicaid Millions. Luke, thank you for coming on the show with us today. It's a real honor to have you on with us.
Thanks for having me, Annie.
Of course. I think nationally, a lot of people have been following what's going on in Minnesota, some California attention to the corruption and the fraud that is taking place there. But you are on the ground in Ohio, and you are digging and you are finding. What can you tell us so far in your investigative series, what you've been able to uncover?
Yeah, a lot of the fraud in all the states you mentioned comes back to what's called Medicaid waivers. So it's stuff that is paid for by like 70% by the federal government under this medical program, but it's really doing all kinds of extra stuff. And one of them is called home health care, which started as if you're sick and you could be in a nursing home, we'll save money by sending a nurse to your house instead. But then they expanded it to, well, we'll also send people to cook and clean for you. They don't have to be nurses. And then they expanded that to, well, they can be your own family members. So they kept pushing the program until it could be exploited by people that want to get paid by the hour just to hang out with their own family members. Now, it's such a big industry in certain communities that you drive down the road and all you see is these home health care companies, and they advertise the service they provide, and they bill by the hours, companionship and conversation. So they're literally billing the government just to hang out with your own family member inside your own home.
It's so frustrating because the service, if you're going to hang out and spend some time and, provide care and compassion, that sounds good. And if it's valuable, somebody will pay for it. But nobody would pay for that except for the government and unknowing taxpayers that are funding this, it sounds like to the tune of quite a bit. What kind of numbers have you exposed as you've been looking into all of these different individual types of fraud?
It's $1 billion a year that just Ohio is paying for people to provide these home services. And there are these middleman companies that basically bill Medicaid and take a cut and then pay the people that are hanging out with their own family members. And then they also have people that have multiple clients, and they'll just go to different old ladies' houses and take care of them. But it's all very vulnerable to kickback schemes where you could have a doctor in on it who would say that everybody that's over like 59, which I think is the minimum age, is so sick that they need all this help. And then you have a bunch of 59-year-olds that get the doctor's notes, and then you have people that are supposedly visiting them, but nobody really checks on any of it. And, somebody bills Medicaid, and the doctors and the old people can get their kickbacks for going along with it. And there's one building alone has 94 companies in it that build $66 million.
Oh my goodness.
There's a whole street in Columbus, Ohio, and it's right down the middle of the Somali neighborhood that's got 7 buildings owned by one landlord. They've got 300 home health care businesses in them that build $250 million. That's just one landlord's worth of businesses. So the scale is unbelievable. And when you look into who actually owns these companies, a lot of times it's people with criminal records, with bankruptcies, with other full-time jobs. The sketchiest stuff you can imagine, really raising questions about, can we trust these people that they're actually going to visit those old ladies?
Man, Luke Rosiak's sitting here talking with us, investigative reporter for the Daily Wire. Read through his investigative series, Medicaid Millions, to really get the details on various ways that you're exposing this. When you confront, when you find something and you're ready to confront them, to maybe ask for documentation, is there a consistent response that you get when you ask these questions? Do they act as though they know that they're doing something wrong and they've been caught? Are they dumbfounded that you're interested? What's the sentiment there?
Well, I visited hundreds of these home healthcare businesses. 95% of them were empty. Nobody was there. They have signs.
I can't even find people to talk to.
Yeah, they try to trick you. They have signs that say, just stepped out to lunch, and you could tell that it's just been that way for months. One guy just immediately said, I started telling him about the budget problems that Medicaid is facing. Medicaid is like half of Ohio's budget, and the spending has doubled in the last couple of years. The growth of this program is going to be catastrophic. And so I was interested to hear his thoughts. And, I have audio of it that you can hear on my Twitter at Luke Rosiak or in the Daily Wire. I believe his exact quote was, blah, 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 journalists, who cares? I'm just going to tell everybody you're racist.
That's so lazy. Oh, that's so terribly lazy. And you have it on. You have the audio recording of that.
I do, and I also have audio recording of another owner of one of these healthcare firms who's a career criminal. He's 30 criminal charges, multiple convictions for theft, multiple convictions for fraud. Medicaid let him start his own Medicaid company that bills $100,000 a month. And his quote was, yes, I do have a very long record. I was just too dumb to know what is law.
Oh.
And then I said, well, why, given that you've lied and given fake names to the government before and stolen, I mean, how do people know that this is real? And at that point, he threatened my family. His wife is a co-owner of the business. She, has malicious wounding, multiple arrests for, multiple violence charges. These are the people that the government, and to kind of get to your original question, some of them, their justification is like, why am I doing this? Because I can. The government allowed me to.
Wow.
And like I said, I disclosed my criminal record to the government, and they let me start this Medicaid company. I asked another guy, given that most of us weren't monsters, if our mom was getting up there in age or our dad and needed us to come cook once a week or vacuum the carpet, we would do that already. So why would we demand to get paid? And his response was, if the government will pay you to do it, why wouldn't you?
Oh my God!
So that kind of gets to the root of it. Is
I mean, he kind of has a point. It's not a good point. It's an explanation. It's not an excuse. That's crazy. Luke Rosiak speaking with us right now. I do encourage you to go follow him on X at Luke Rosiak to stay up to speed with this. Two questions here. Are we talking about the defrauding of the Ohio taxpayer, the federal taxpayer, both?
It's a great question. So Medicaid was supposed to be half federal, half state. But even the states Medicaid is so sketchy that even the states themselves are sketchy. They started running these schemes where they devised a way to cook the books so that the federal government would pay like 70% plus of it. And so at this point, the states don't really have a lot of skin in the game for finding fraud because the feds are paying the money, but the states are in charge of running these programs, including making sure that the money isn't wasted. And I think that's part of why Tim Walz in Minnesota didn't seem to care very much, because it's kind of like other people's money. And maybe if it's just being stolen, at least it'll have some indirect benefit to the economy. So at the core of this is, I think, Medicaid has a structural incentives issue.
Luke, last question for you. You discover this, you've got evidence, you've got tapes, you've got a complete and total indifference from these people who are committing these crimes. When you expose them, do they stop? And B, what's the process of reporting this so that it can be prosecuted?
Well, Ohio has an auditor who I don't think has any enforcement authority, but who has been sounding the alarm about this kind of stuff for a long time. The government, Mike DeWine and his Office of Medicaid, hasn't seemed to really have done much. They also have an attorney general who pointed out that the governor actually rolled back the anti-fraud detection capabilities. At one point, you were required to have a GPS on you so that it could show whether you were actually going to those old ladies' houses, because they knew there were so many people that were just pretending. And Governor Mike DeWine, who's a Republican, changed the rules and said, well, we wouldn't want to invade anybody's privacy. And there's a lot of reasons that makes no sense. It's literally just reporting the GPS coordinates one time, which is when you show up to the person's house, it just says, yep, I'm here. And the GPS coordinates are always going to be one place. It's the person's house where you're supposed to be at. So there's no conceivable privacy implication from what a lot of Republicans in Ohio say. And yet, for inexplicable reasons, they've changed the rules in a way that almost seems designed to just make it easier to defraud this program.
Oh, my gosh. Luke, there's so many more questions I'd like to ask you. I'm going to invite you back to come back and talk to us more about what you're uncovering in this process here on our show, because you've already made the case that this absolutely affects the Missouri and the Illinois taxpayer here in our listening audience. And your work is great, and we want more people to know about it. So please come back and talk to us again about this soon.
Thanks, Annie.
Thank you so much. Luke Rosiak. The piece is his investigative series, Medicaid Millions. It's on the Daily Wire, and he's an investigative reporter there. It is very important that these folks that are rooting out this fraud and doing so in kind of an independent journalist, he's not entirely independent because he's with the Daily Wire, but it's definitely new media. We do need to support them, and you can do that easily by following him on X. It's an easy way to support him. Luke, Rosiak. Going into Ohio. Let's take a break. YouTube poll. Speaking of fraud, you think the 2020 election was defrauding of the American voter? You can tell us. Did Donald Trump actually win the 2020 presidential election? I looked a little bit before, and, well, you guys, come on. Yes, no, or I'm not sure. Go vote and text us on the Annie Frey Show text line, 314-241-9797. We'll be right back. AirComfortService.com, of course, can keep you in your comfort zone, but I'm going to ask you to step out of your comfort zone a little bit and go for a walk. AirComfortService.com/community. This is a partnership that Corey and his family and his team at the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Company, they're proud to partner with NAMI St. Louis. It's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. And for almost 50 years, NAMI St. Louis has worked to improve access to services and increase opportunities for recovery, to develop community mental health programs and services, and change public attitudes about mental health conditions. And since May is Mental Health Awareness Month, Air Comfort Service is partnering with NAMI to help bring awareness and end the stigma of mental health struggles by joining them at the NAMI Walks on May 16th at Creve Coeur Park. NAMI Walks on May 16th at Creve Coeur Park. If you visit the website, aircomfortservice.com/community, you'll learn more about this event and how Air Comfort Service is partnering with them. We'd love to see you bring out the family to participate with Air Comfort Service and NAMI Walks for a really incredible cause. Go to aircomfortservice.com/community.
It's time for you to get to know my friends at Lit Cigar Lounge in Chesterfield, where luxury meets comfort. Mark Cox here. They have a great selection of rare bourbons, whiskeys, craft cocktails, anything you like to drink, cold beer, premium hand-rolled cigars from the finest makers in the world, even private lockers that are available if you choose to. Perfect for date nights or business meetings, and live music every Friday night. Family owned and operated. Check them out in Chesterfield at the District. It's litstl.com.
The cost of living is going up, Social Security is going down, and who knows where the stock market is going. There are a lot of things you can't control about retirement, but there's one thing you can. You can call the team at Ricken Financial. Their focus has always been preserve what you have and build a paycheck that comes in every month. Call today for your no-cost, no-obligation meeting, 314-207-6211 or at rickenfinancial.com.
Investment advisory products and services made available through Impact Partnership Wealth, LLC, IPW, a registered investment advisor.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
Did Donald Trump actually win the 2020 presidential election? That's what we're asking you today. It's the YouTube live chat poll. Yes, no, or I'm not sure. Let us know which one of those camps you fall into. It is 12:38. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
JerryKelly.com. From the gateway to the airwaves. 97.1 FM Talk. St. Louis Conservative.
Is this Biebs? Is Ethan picking the music?
Yes, this is Biebs, yeah.
If Ethan's picking the music, this is Biebs. I love Justin Bieber, and I've liked him since he was a kid. I was too old lady for Justin Bieber when Justin Bieber was like we all aged out of Justin Bieber in that type of fandom.
I always felt the same way about SpongeBob.
I'm still.
I would like to enjoy it. I was.
I'm so annoyed that is a real thing. SpongeBob is a delineation of the millennial generation.
Ooh,
if you are an older millennial, a senior millennial, you're not a SpongeBob kid.
No, you're not. You tried to be, but you couldn't be.
No, I didn't. Not interested.
I tried.
I was how would you say, too cool for it. You weren't. You tried and they didn't let you in the club?
It was at that age where you're like, this show is funny, but I can't spend my time doing this.
Mm.
And so the older I've gotten and now I have kids, then
What's
they
our
watch
SpongeBob?
it.
I mean, Animaniacs is
yeah.
I would go back and watch Animaniacs. I think it was just recently uploaded to something.
Also a funny show.
Oh, and smart too. I think it'd be interesting to go back and watch Animaniacs and watch it as an adult.
Yeah.
And catch what they were really throwing down.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to do that sometime. Maybe I'll have to find it and watch it with my kids. But Justin Bieber, even when he came out, I thought he was obviously very talented. It's not like I saw him and thought, that kid's going to be something someday.
I think we could make something out of you.
No.
He's just raw clay right now.
But there was, when he was first on the scene, an innocence to him that I thought was great. And then he just did what tends to happen to, unfortunately, kids who grow up in the limelight, and it was really sad. But he has had a consistent element of his life that has been tethered to faith the whole time. And it's kind of ebbed and flowed in how much it was front stage, but it's always been at least backstage. It was always there. It was always in the room. And I've always kind of paid attention to that part of Justin Bieber. I think his voice is incredible. I'm not his dancing and all that stuff, again, a little too much of an old lady for him to have been that interested in him from that standpoint. But
that's all I liked about him.
Well, I know.
I'd watch the videos with the sound off.
Envy.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's really interesting and compelling how he doesn't really have an option to be public with it because everything he does is so public. I see short videos on whatever platform of Justin Bieber, and he's like walking home, and people are standing by his door at his house waiting to, and he's very, I think, patient but direct by saying, "This is my home. My family is here. I just want to go home. Can I just go home?" And when us mere mortals don't understand what it's like to live an existence where even when you're home, you have people standing outside the door just waiting for you to be there for them. Yes, that's the price of fame. I understand that. But he's talked a lot about struggles. There are a lot of questions that a lot of people have and a lot of things that people pretend to know about experiences he's had with other celebrities in Hollywood. Some pretty disgusting, gross allegations, and I don't know if they're true or not. But I do know that he looks right now that he's clinging to faith. And I think that that's pretty incredible. And he has a wife that he's talked about. Every time you hear in the news media or the entertainment media, when you hear that there's a celebrity couple and they're struggling, they just get divorced. You've heard about Justin and I believe her name is Hailey Bieber.
Yep. Formerly Baldwin.
Yes, that's right. When they've had stories out of them struggling, and they talk about that like that's a part of marriage. That's just part of the deal. He seems like he wants to make that work, and I value the fact that he's prioritizing those types of things that are often very throwaway for folks who are in the limelight. Has a child. 1, 2?
Oh, I didn't know he had any.
Oh, yes.
No,
What kind of fan are you?
Like I said, I'm just a fan of his dancing.
Oh.
He's a little too old lady.
So is
for
Hailey.
it.
Yeah, he's talks about being a dad and being, I don't know. That's just, those are things when you're a spouse, when you're a parent, those are things where you have to be entirely selfless. And people who are that famous are not traditionally adept to being any kind of selfless and make it. It seems like, I don't know. This whole segment brought to you by Justin Bieber. Didn't know that was going to happen, but I like it. He's refreshing to me. He's not perfect, of course, but I just think that he's more human than a lot of people who are way less celebrity than he is.
I just think it would really suck to be the son of a celebrity, especially, probably daughter too, but I'm a guy. I always think if I'm just on a soccer team when I'm 5 or 10 years old and I'm average, but my last name's Bieber or Stallone, everybody's going to be like, that kid sucks.
I don't think so. They're all going to want to be around you.
They do want to be your friend, but
they don't want to be your friend.
Yeah.
They want to be, you're going to become an accessory.
Yeah, everybody's talking about every little thing you do. It's just the most mundane stuff.
Now comes the time of the day where I read Wiggins America for the first time to myself and to you. When we come back, Wiggins America, choices people make near and after retirement they often regret. Wiggins America next.
97.1 FM Talk is proud to support the Guns N' Hoses First Responders Soccer Cup, May 30th at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. Law enforcement battles firefighters and EMTs on the field, all for a great cause. 971talk.com/events.
License number GL250000615.
We've seen all kinds of clogs, so remember the rule. Only flush 3 things. Number 1, number 2, and toilet paper.
What about my dinosaurs?
No.
My monster truck?
Nope.
What about...
If it's not the big 3, don't flush it.
But if someone does flush a dinosaur...
Call Grasser. We clear the clog and get things moving again.
Green is always Grasser at GrasserHomeservices.com.
Men. Need a clinic that accepts all insurance, including Medicare? U.S. Men's Medical Center in St. Peters does. U.S. Men's helps men experiencing loss of energy, focus, concentration, and low libido. And they accept all insurance, even Medicare, for testosterone replacement therapy. Patients love the staff and the fact that, yes, I'm going to say it again, they accept all insurance, including Medicare. Feel better? Call U.S. Men's Medical Center at 636-244-5333.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-948-7878. That's 800-948-7878.
Hey guys, are you dealing with low energy weight gain or issues in the bedroom? Game Day Men's Health is the premier men's health clinic in the St. Louis area with locations in Chesterfield and O'Fallon, Missouri. They specialize in low testosterone and sexual health, and they also help men and women with medical weight loss, vitamins, and peptides. They offer free consultations and testosterone tests with results in about 20 minutes. Get in, get answers, get back to the top of your game. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Again, that's GameDayMen'sHealth.com.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Wiggins! Oh! Wiggins! All right, these are things that experts say people regret buying when they get close to or into retirement. And
Buying.
Buying,
Not necessarily doing.
Well, it's decisions with money, because it's not just buying things, but it's decisions overall with the way you're spending your money when you get close to or into retirement.
Okay.
And when I read them, I thought these are kind of controversial. So I want to bring them up, see if you would agree with these or whether they
I
are
also want to
things
know
you've ever
if
thought about.
they're things that we would maybe do.
Yeah, absolutely. There's not a lot of them, just a few. And so let's go through them quickly here. It says the first one is buying an RV or a camper.
I don't know.
It says that most of the people that they've interviewed say that this was something they've always dreamed of, and then once they do it, they were not sure that it was the right decision.
I think RV campers are definitely something that you think you're an RV camper person, and then maybe you realize I'm not. Or if you are of the retirement age, chances are you might have a grandkid or two laying around, and you might not be as portable as you might not want to be as portable as you thought you would want. So I would say if you're somebody who lives that lifestyle and you're doing it and you want to upgrade because now you aren't tethered to vacation days scheduled within a work schedule, that's probably when it's the green light if you can afford it. But if you wouldn't go spend $40, $50, $70, $100,000 on the Cadillac RV when you're like, we'll try this out.
Well, you said the right word.
Maybe rent one.
You said the right word. Lifestyle.
Yeah.
It is much more of a lifestyle than it seems. You got to do a lot with it. And if you are of that lifestyle, Heidi Harris, who fills in on 97.1 all the time, she loves that lifestyle.
She's an RVer?
She's an RVer. And I've met a few people who are, and they love it. But you got to know what you're getting into. This same category would apply to,
would
in
you
their
RV?
words, I would love to try it.
So you're going to rent one?
I would like to rent one, but even doing that involves a lot of planning.
Like, for a month, you want to go out for a month, or you just want to be a nomad, or you just want to take a trip to the Black Hills in an RV?
That's real close, actually. I want to take my family in an RV. We want to go out west, just drive the Grand Canyon and stuff like that. Yeah, like Fievel. I always said, kids, let's be like Fievel for once in our gosh darn lives.
Who's Fievel? Well, he's a mouse.
And then we watch the movie, and then we forget about the RV.
Way out west. Da, 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 da. It's a real catchy tune. I remember at least 3 words, and I haven't watched that movie in 25 years.
You now have shown in the last 2 segments that you know more about Bieber music and Fievel music.
I am of the Fievel generation, not the SpongeBob generation.
She's a woman of
Carry
culture,
on.
Ryan.
Yeah,
Carry
a
on.
woman of great culture. Second homes.
Of the mouse variety.
Second
I've
homes
been around the world.
are in this
Epcot.
category as well. Buying a second home always sounds like it's usually a vacation home. Sounds like something that would be awesome to do, but unless that is your spot, unless that is the spot you always want to go to, people sometimes regret it because it makes them locked into that spot.
Yeah, I just don't know if it's better than renting. There's so much upkeep and maintenance
I've
that
thought
goes.
the same thing.
Like, how much is it? Is it the coziness of home that you really want, so that you own it? Because I
don't know.
really like the idea of not having to maintain things.
Yeah, I do too, and I think that, but there is something very, Brad, I'm going to use the word, there's very sexy about owning a second vacation
Can you
home.
not say it with that tone
I don't know, Brad, was
in
that
my
okay?
presence? Let me leave, and you and Brad can talk.
Why are you asking me? No, it's not okay.
Brad says it's not okay.
You guys are always talking about what's sexy.
Whenever he walks into my office,
You know,
I'm like, is this sexy? And it's usually my outfit.
What's his
Locker
answer?
room taught.
He's usually like Mossy Point. Mossy Oak? Nope.
No.
Mossy Point. Got the brand name that I'm wearing wrong.
You would wear Mossy Point.
Mossy Point?
Got a great deal.
It's the off-brand of the already cheap brand.
You see that Mossy Oak over there? Lift it up. There's a Mossy Point. That's where I shop.
On the list also of things that experts say people regret buying in or near retirement is, and I guess this isn't buying, but it's spending your money, gifts, especially big financial gifts, to loved ones.
I think that when it comes to financial gifts to loved ones, I think there has to be an understanding of the intention or the purpose of the gift, as opposed to here's a bunch of cash. I mean, unless you're rolling in it. I've had this conversation with my parents before because, I'm working on I have a trust with my husband that we've established with Civil law. We've gone through some of this. So I've been able to ask my parents some questions about these things because what other frame of reference do you have? But I keep telling my parents, like, I would rather I'm not going to enjoy any inheritance that maybe I do get if I'm good. I'm not going to sit there and think like, I wish I would have had more. If they could spend some of their money or their assets on something that would make them happy in life, especially when it's something that likely we're sharing with them in some capacity, even if it's just experiences or joy or whatever, I'd rather have that with them than down the line. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of sort of thinking about that idea of planning your estate. And of course you want to leave an inheritance behind, but don't live poor. Don't sacrifice living because you want to keep a penny in the bank. Don't spend beyond your means, certainly. But like, live the life. My time with them is way more valuable than anything that they could be spending.
Yeah, the article says that sometimes when a retiree gives a big, Brad might say, sexy gift to their family, that a lot of times it's premature, that they don't really actually know what their situation is well enough to be doing that.
Yeah, it'd have to be well studied.
Yeah, if you're rolling, like you said, if you're just rolling, yeah, do whatever you want.
But Mom and Dad, if you want to buy my next tank of gas, I will bring the Pacifica to you.
Mom and Dad, if you just heard Annie say that, I am fine with either you, my own mom and dad, or Annie's mom and dad also.
My dad's going to fill up your tank.
And that's fine.
You know he is.
And if he wants to siphon it out of your tank, I would be even gladder because it would just be so fun. You know,
the worst.
It'd be a lot of really good show material. We'd
I'm going to show up in my driveway and there's Ryan and my dad stealing gas out of my car. We've taken this too far. All right, Trace Gallagher on the Annie Frey Show. When we come back, we're talking Spencer Pratt. I cannot get enough of this guy. It's incredible. I don't know if he's going to win, but boy, he's making a case for anti-socialists. Trace Gallagher next.
Just a reminder to have your air conditioner checked for the summer so you don't have a mishap and it goes down in the hottest day of the year. But it's always best to have it done. Call us and we'll be more than happy to come out there and check it for you. And like always, if you're having your furnace checked by another company and you are told that this is the year you need to replace it, call me for a second opinion. The 0% interest is still available on most brands. Save your cash and keep your credit cards open and away from those high rates. Call me. You'll be glad you did. Bart Inman, one easy number in Missouri and Illinois. The easiest. It is 314-293-2600 or on the website bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
New tax resolution firms are popping up every day with high-paid celebrity endorsers, advertising ridiculous claims in their TV ads. That's why they have the tiny, unreadable disclaimers at the bottom of the screen. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. Our ads never have those ridiculous, fast-talking, tiny disclaimers at the end because, simply put, there are no guarantees when it comes to the IRS and wiping out tax bills. And we don't make promises we can't keep. Of course, there are ways the Lance Drury Law Firm can help resolve your tax debt, but no company can guarantee it will eliminate it. This is why their clients call the Lance Drury Law Firm when those promises don't pan out. If you have tax problems, you have legal problems, call me, Lance Drury in St. Louis, at 314-260-6120 or visit Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
Gentlemen, Mark Cox here. When's the last time you actually felt like yourself? Victory Men's Health specializes in hormone optimization, sexual health, weight loss, and longevity. It's built for everyday men who just want to feel better and perform their best. They already have offices in Town and Country, Sunset Hills, O'Fallon, Missouri, and O'Fallon, Illinois. They're about to open a new location in Glen Carbon very soon. It's a higher standard of care just waiting for you. Learn more at victorymenshealth.com.
97.1 FM Talk is proud to support the Guns N' Hoses First Responders Soccer Cup, May 30th at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. Law enforcement battles firefighters and EMTs on the field, all for a great cause. 971talk.com/events.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Off to China for President Trump. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. He's leaving for Beijing and a 2-day summit with President Xi, with Iran one of many expected topics. But he's also taking more than a dozen business leaders with him, including Elon Musk and Apple's Tim Cook.
Foreign policy does have the potential to overshadow the economic parts of this summit. The president has already said the agenda with him and Xi has changed by a lot because of the Iran conflict. In fact, the administration and the U.S. ambassador to China, David Perdue, telling us that they do want Xi to almost mediate and put pressure on Iran because China is the #1 buyer of Iranian oil.
Fox's Aisha Hasni in Beijing.
On trade, tariffs and rare earth minerals used in chips are expected to come up in these talks. Also, American farmers who are getting hit bad by those higher diesel fuel prices because of the Iranian conflict. They want China to buy 25 million more metric tons of soybeans.
A warning from Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Donald Trump wants a deal with China so badly he could sell out on American manufacturing. He could sell out on chips. He could sell out on Taiwan, which produces many of these chips. He could sell out on AI.
On the Senate floor earlier, also urging support for the 7th Democrat effort to pass a war powers resolution on Iran. But President Trump says the U.S. is now doing smart business with China and that great things will happen for both countries, telling reporters this about President Xi just moments ago.
He's been a friend of mine. He's been somebody that we get along with. And I think you're going to see that good things are going to happen. This is going to be a very exciting trip. A lot of good things are going to happen.
Also, just reiterating that Iran will not have a nuclear weapon, insisting that will be achieved peacefully or otherwise the day after rejecting Iran's latest peace proposal. America is listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolade spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/term. That's ethos.com/term. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Our temperature is certainly a little bit warmer with the southerly flow going through our Tuesday afternoon. Lots of sunshine out there. 83, 84 should do it. Tonight, scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms. 59 for the low. Wednesday, sunny, slightly cooler, 75. Thursday, sunny and nice, 76. Then a big-time warm-up for Friday through the weekend and into next week. We're going into the 90s. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Air Comfort Service is proud to support NAMI St. Louis in their mission to improve the lives of those with mental health conditions. Visit aircomfortservice.com/community to learn more.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
For the sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
We're going to have LA so beautiful. No more of these high-density SB-79 prison-like structures. We need to bring Art Deco back. All the architects that moved out of here because it was so hard to build, takes 8 years, they're going to be moving back because we're going to speed up building. It's not going to take 8 years. We need LA to be the most beautiful architecture in the world. I don't want to go to Venice. I don't want to go look at Venice. I want to go to Venice, downtown LA. I'm going to have a canal. And then the YIMBY people, they can have all their bike lanes going through the sky, through tunnels and things. Right. We need to get creative with LA.
Can you address?
I like listening to Spencer Pratt talk about what he wants to do with LA in here because it's very forward thinking. I guess this is post cleaning up the poop and the poopers from the front of the businesses that we hear him talk about. We played a lot of those clips yesterday. I am infatuated with Spencer Pratt running for mayor in Los Angeles. And I'm very excited about our next guest. Let's get Trace Gallagher on here with us. Of course, the chief breaking news correspondent for Fox News and the anchor of Fox News at night. My favorite way to recap the evening news. Trace Gallagher, thank you so much for being with us here today.
Great to be on, Annie. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So, you're a California guy. Is that correct? Are you living your life in California?
I am for the time being, yeah. I mean, it's like, being in the military, you never know what town you'll be in next. You just kind of end up there. But, yeah, we've been in California for a while, and the show has been out of here for the past 4 years. But, it's it's different because, because we're national, my entire team or most of my team is actually in D.C., so we have a few producers in L.A. The control room is in D.C. The show is out of L.A., so it's kind of a mess. But, yes, we are based in LA.
So you're seeing a lot of this stuff. It's different when you're covering the news, of course, and you're getting all of the information in as you would as a journalist. But when you're just living your life and you're going to pick up lunch at a particular place or you're getting the billboards or the advertisements that are local, how heavy is Spencer Pratt actually penetrating the local market there with the message that the rest of us people in the national media are watching?
I think it's significant. I mean, what's happening here, especially after the debate last week where you had NBC coming out with these numbers, they do the polling, and 88% of the people that they polled said that Spencer Pratt won this thing. Wow. 8% said that Karen Bass won it. I mean, those are big numbers, and that's part of the reason that Karen Bass kind of pulled out of tonight's debate. Of course, Spencer Pratt's not going to be there either, and that's part and parcel of it as well, because Karen Bass is like, well, the only reason I would do the debate is to go after Spencer Pratt again, because the truth is, she got smoked. And I think everybody, even her supporters, had to acknowledge that she's not great at debates. She didn't do very well, and she kind of held on to these old policies that people thought, haven't we moved on from that? It's the whole needle exchange policy, right? Where she says, yeah, I would give these drug-addicted homeless people needles. And Spencer Pratt's looking at her like, how are you still grasping that? It's just it is baffling for a lot of people in Los Angeles that she's willing to double down on something that has been tried in many, many different blue places around the country and failed in many, many different blue places around the country, like Los Angeles, like San Francisco, and yet she's willing to keep going. They spend $24 billion on the homeless program, and there's no record of where this money is actually doing or when, and yet the homeless problem is getting worse. So I think there's kind of people look at her askance like, what exactly is she? Is her team kind of giving her this advice? Say, yeah, well, here's our answer on this, and here's our answer on this, and then she comes back. She says, well, the fires in the Palisades, there was only one empty reservoir. They weren't all. It was just one empty. Oh, okay, just one empty, and that happened to be the one that was going to take care of the Palisades fire. So she's like trying to mitigate things that are silly. You argue that it's either right or wrong. You argue that here's what happened, we screwed it up, and here's what we need to do to get better. Instead, it's always, well, it was just one reservoir. Well, it was just a couple of hundred fire hydrants that didn't work. Well, we could have sent firefighters up there, but, we didn't think they stood a chance against those winds, except the guy who owned the big mall in the Palisades sent his fire team up there, and not one of those buildings had a mark on them, not a smoke mark on those buildings. So everybody knows that, she's been outed as not being really in control of her policies, and the things that, she wants to be able to convey to people are just not very convincing.
Anchor of Fox News at night, Trace Gallagher, speaking with us right now on the Annie Frey Show. It seems as though Spencer Pratt has a shot at this, if he has a shot at this, because of it would be a referendum on Bass's mayorship, that she's done such a terrible job that people would be willing to consider an alternative in a way maybe that they haven't before. And I also am curious about, can you quantify for us the kind of rage, the political rage that might exist in that area that is really going to probably be the biggest driver of the outcome of this election? Of course, we hear Spencer Pratt talking about, like, I'm for everybody except for the socialists, not the socialists. He's not really making it red-blue. It just seems very local, but it's having a national effect.
Yeah, it really is. And I think, that he was on our show probably 3.5, 4 weeks ago. And, his main talking points then were he really wanted to focus on the rebuild in the Palisades and the rebuild and what happened and how we can not put ourselves in that position again. But then he kind of, he tried to expand a lot of that time. He expands it again to things like, the homeless thing, because he knows it's a big issue here, to the local economy, to the gas taxes. Now they're trying to dub Spencer Pratt as, MAGA 2.0.
Yeah.
And you think it happens every single time, because when they start losing, when they really don't have any policies to fall back on, the only thing that Gavin Newsom does, that Karen Bass does, that everybody who's running for office against a Republican in California, including the governor's race, they always try to paint these people as just, MAGA offshoots. And that's what they're trying to do to Spencer Pratt. And as you pointed out, he's anything but. I mean, listen, he wants to make sure that this never happens again in the Palisades. He wants to make sure this homeless problem is taken care of, that maybe we can get rid of the gas tax and we can lower some of the costs. And maybe young people, for the first time in 35 years, can feel like they can buy a home in California, which now they're not. I mean, how many of my friends, their children move out of California to other states because they don't stand a chance to be able to build, at least early on, at least until they can gather up enough money to be able to buy a house here, which is, at how many years is it going to take before you can buy a house? I mean, the average price of a house in California is $1 million. It's and when you say average price, that the $1 million house is not in the most coveted area.
Yeah.
So that's a thing that young people look at. That's something that Spencer Pratt says has to be addressed. It has nothing to do with MAGA. It has everything to do with, hey, you know what? And now they're going after him saying, oh, Spencer Pratt, you know what he wants to do? He actually wants to spend more money on police and less money on the homeless. Well, duh. I mean, it's only in California where they literally hit you because you want to spend. And his answer is, because every time we cut back funding of police, crime goes up. Every time we spend more money on homeless goes up. And so, it's just a common sense thing that he is trying to, he's trying to get the message out. And I think at least in the early going, it's working. Now, listen, that said, Los Angeles is very, very blue, and he is running as a Republican. So when you actually mark your ballot, LA is as blue as they get. I mean, there's still a lot of Republicans here because it's the second largest city in the country, but it's still very Democrat. The state is democratically controlled up and down. And so it's going to be a battle. But right now, it looks like he's doing really well in this battle.
We're speaking with Trace Gallagher here on the Annie Frey Show. It feels to me very typical. We're broadcasting here from St. Louis, but I live across the river in Illinois. So I'm very plugged in with the Illinois way of doing things. And oftentimes I feel like sometimes Illinois is the Midwestern flyover country test kitchen for some crazy things that California might get publicly dinged on. But there is an apathy that exists with conservatives in the state of Illinois in the middle of the country because you just feel like it's hopeless. And what Spencer Pratt is doing in Los Angeles, the fact that he's willing to fight, in the state of Illinois, it actually gives me a little hope that I hear Spencer Pratt saying Los Angeles is worth fighting for. Well, of course, I feel like my home state is as well, Chicago and the entire state here, other blue states or blue areas around the country here, Spencer Pratt putting up a fight. And then when I look at what Mayor Bass is doing, is it simply just relying on the fact that they're blue and blue all the way through in Los Angeles, and at the end of the day, people aren't going to check an R box, and she'll just win? Is that all she has going for her?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is part of the philosophy here is that, you know what, just stay out of the public eye. And that's why you drop out of debates because, if you're Karen Bass, the upside is very small. The downside is very deep. And so she saw that last week. She sees that if you go in one more debate and you get smoked again, so you just avoid them. You avoid the debates, you avoid the media, and because she knows and everybody else knows that half the state of California is not paying attention one way or the other. They're just not. They're going to mark the ballot the way they've always marked the ballot. The goal is to try to get in touch and try to convince the people that are paying attention that this is the wrong way. And so what happens in California is that they keep going back to this MAGA thing because they think it works. And maybe it does. And they keep going back to these basic ideas that, if we can just paint them as some kind of conservative radical, it's going to work. Nobody is going to give them, when you literally have advertisements coming out saying that this guy is in favor of the police and they think that's going to work, it tells you the mindset of California. But you look at what's happening here as far as fighting for the state and you think, listen, Trump won 11 more counties in California in 2024 than he did in 2020. So there's a little bit of needle movement. You see, Fox News is doing a national broadcast out of California every day. The California Post is here. It's not just the New York Post. Now you have the California Post in California because they think that there is some, grist for the mill out here, for the political mill to be able to say, you know what, there's people out here who really, really want to fight for this state. You go back several decades to the Ronald Reagan years where California was a lot more red. And everybody here believes that there is a pendulum swing happening and that it is kind of coming back the other way just because of the bad decisions being made by the Karen Basses and the Gavin Newsoms of the world, when it comes to affordability, when it comes to the gas tax. And you notice now the gas tax, the gas prices have been always $3 higher in California than anywhere else in the country. And now you have Gavin Newsom saying the gas prices are Trump's fault. And he thinks people are going to believe him, until you actually point out that the gas prices 2 years ago were higher than they are today under Gavin Newsom, under Biden. And they forget that kind of stuff, but they still will go to a press conference and say, these gas prices, this is Trump's fault. And these housing prices, this is Trump's fault. Affordability is Trump's fault. And you look at the people who have been in office for decades, and that's why people are frustrated. Like, come on, this is a lie. We know you're lying to us, so stop it. And maybe there is a pendulum swing. They've got a jungle primary out here, right? So it's the top two. Regardless of your party, it's the top two. And the governor's race, the same thing. You go in, and if you have two Republicans that make it through the primary in June, one of those is going to become the governor. And because of that, and because the Democrats are afraid, now they're thinking about scrapping the primary process altogether because it's the same nationally, right? Oh, by the way, of the redistricting, well, let's just change the Virginia Supreme Court. Let's just change the Supreme Court and add 15 justices. Let's add 2 more states to it. Anything we can do to give an advantage instead of fighting with the tools that you have, you got to change the whole landscape so that you can move different pieces around and change the way the game is fought. And that's what's happening in California. They're like, well, let's change this primary system because we can't tolerate, 2 Republicans winning the primary because one of them is going to be in office. And that's, that's unacceptable. The legislature, I would just say this, Andy, the legislature in California, if anybody who doesn't know it out there, is 75% Democrat. And it's not just that the Republicans are outnumbered. It's that when the Democrats don't want you to speak on the floor of the State House, they just turn your microphone off. And there is nothing you can do about it. So that's kind of how California runs. Is California says this is the way it's going to be. And if you want to change it, well, you got a long way to go to change it. And there's little incremental things that are happening that you can see are, at the very least, promising.
Yeah, it takes very little successes, minor successes for people in a blue state like California or Illinois, where I'm from, to feel like, oh, just even a glimmer of hope when you're in the super minority. I have a political dream of the case study of the number one city having a Democratic Socialist mayor and the number 2 city having Spencer Pratt, who basically just says, I'm not a socialist. I want to see what those 2 cities do to compete with one another. And watching your coverage of it on Fox News at night, I'm always tuning in to see what the latest updates are for the day. And we're really grateful for some of your time and insight here today on our show. Thank you for being with us.
Well, thank you, Annie. I very much appreciate it. And I would just leave by saying, I think that you are seeing a little bit of skepticism in California for the first time in a lot of years.
I love it.
You see people that are now saying, hey, this is not working.
Yeah.
And something, whether either Karen Bass has to change or somebody else has to come in and make those changes.
Amen. Well, we're going to continue to follow your coverage of it. And thank you for being with us this afternoon, Trace Gallagher. It's a real pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you, Annie. I appreciate it.
Take care. Bye-bye. Trace Gallagher from sunny California covering that L.A. mayoral race. And, we didn't really even get into it, but the governor race there, too. I'm going to be honest. This is stupid, but I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to jinx it. Because it's looking like it's going in a way where, I don't know, can I call him Sir Steve Hilton? Might possibly, potentially could be the governor of California. Holy smokes. He's going to go in there after Gavin Newsom. Oh, man. Injected into my veins. That's what they say in California. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Don't go away. We're going to speak with Andrew Harding at 1:30. Can we? Yeah. Andrew Harding, he's a political analyst for national security and Indo-Pacific affairs at the Heritage Foundation. And we're going to talk about China. We'll be right back. Point Pest Control, point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com. If you've got ants in your house, ants in your house or your pants. If your ants are in your pants in your house, you still have a problem.
You should definitely get that sprayed. If you've got bugs in your
And you know what? It's safe. I don't know about in your pants. I can't vouch for that legally. Shake the ants out of your pants and then call Point Pest Control.
Come on, hit me.
Oh, no. Sorry, Point. I mean, I don't know. If this gets you business, tell me, and I'll keep doing this ants in your pants stuff. 636-798-0023. 636-798-0023 for the ants in your kitchen or your bathroom. A lot of those areas that have moisture that might attract ants. Yikes. Spiders, crickets, mice, what other kind of pests you might have in your home?
Crabs.
I'm going to have to do this one again.
I think it went over
636-798-0023. 636-798-0023. I have them come out on a quarterly service, and the treatment that they provide is safe for my kids, safe for my pets to be around. It's not something you have to worry about being in your home, but the pests certainly do. They can treat inside your home and outside your home, and when you subscribe to the premium service plan like I do, mention Annie, and you're going to get an additional 10% discount on the top of saving whatever best special is out there right now. 636-798-0023. Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
glaucoma, and LASIK surgeries. And if you're looking for the best eye care, it's Ophthalmology Associates. Make an appointment today by calling 314-966-5000 or online at youridoc.com. They have a great office location just west of 270 on Manchester Road. Again, the phone number, 314-966-5000. The website, youridoc.com. Ophthalmology Associates.
Don't let tax refund worries hold you back. File now with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They'll find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve or your money back. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
The Annie Frey Show is St. Louis conservative.
So we just got done speaking with Trace Gallagher about the Spencer Pratt race. It doesn't sound like Trace Gallagher is like, oh, Spencer Pratt's a shoo-in. But Mayor Bass is an unmitigated disaster. And she really does appear to be just going, I'm a Democrat.
Yeah, she's not doing anything. I mean, the fact that she even showed up to that first debate was a shock to me because they have zero strategy.
Maybe they didn't take Spencer Pratt seriously enough.
I don't know.
That gif of him, that video of him, I can't, this is radio, so it's really hard, but he's making a mocking gesture face where he's kind of like wagging his head back and forth while they're talking about stupid things. And he's just mocking them, which is so Trumpian. There are still gifs that are used, I'm making up numbers, a million times a day on X of Donald Trump from the Hillary debate. Mm-hmm. When Hillary was talking about stuff and he's going, oh, making all these faces or whatever.
Wrong.
Yes. Right into the microphone, dip down, wrong. I think the reason why I see so many connections with what Spencer Pratt is doing to Donald Trump is because he's not trying to do it.
No, he's not.
He's not. I think, in fact, if he could tame it down a little bit, he might even try to do that because his goal, Spencer Pratt's trying to win the mayorship, has nothing to do, to me at least, it seems like it has everything to do with Los Angeles. People are saying on X, he shouldn't have run for mayor. He should have run for governor. He should be in this governor's race. Well, that might be good for Californians north to south, but I think Spencer Pratt is so hostily angry about the fires and the way government completely failed the people of Los Angeles before the fire, during the fire, after the fire, that he's doing this out of some kind of, in my opinion, righteous and justified revenge. And if he can spend a year, however long he's been running this campaign, laying their ish bare and just exposing everything in a really well-compiled campaign for mayor, which also is a PR campaign to Californians to say it does not actually have to be this way. I think that is what, in the state of Illinois, we need Chicago to wake up and understand is it doesn't have to be this way. There is another way to do it. Darren Bailey's running against J.B. Pritzker. Is he the guy? He's our only shot at it right now. And, he's spending, from what I understand, all of his time in Chicago trying to make the case there. I don't know if he's going to be able to pull it off. It would be a really long shot. I think Spencer Pratt has a better shot as the mayor of Los Angeles than Darren Bailey has in Illinois, because I think the people of Illinois have been so aggrieved by their government that they too, maybe just lightning in a bottle for one cycle, go, no, enough of that. We're going to do something different. If nothing else, to make sure that the next Democrat that runs understands they have to serve the people.
Yeah, Spencer Pratt's personality works for this race in particular because it's so amped up, but because the problems of L.A. are so amped up. I mean, you watch movies from the 70s and 80s that are about post-apocalyptic. That's what LA looks like now.
It's hard to believe. There's a lot of Spencer Pratt AI stuff out there, but when you go back and you look at the real video, it's almost scarier.
Yeah.
You just can't understand what it's like to have gone through that and to see how much the government in Los Angeles, Southern California as a whole, they just don't care.
Sunset Boulevard is freaking lost.
It's so sad. When we come back, Andrew Harding is going to lay out for us President Trump going to China. What now? What will we get out of this? What do we hope to get out of this? We'll talk with Andrew Harding, an expert on China with the Heritage Foundation, next. HomeShield FoundationRepairs.com, 314-271-9900. Meeting with Matt Hayes and getting to know him. He cares a lot about St. Louis. He cares a lot about this area. His business is locally owned. It's family owned right here in St. Louis. But what he is invested in doing is foundation repair. There are a lot of different ways that a foundation might need to be repaired. Which one is yours? Of course, if you've got water in your basement, you know that you're going to have somebody come in and restore your foundation to repair it so that your foundation is solid. You can call Matt Hayes and have him come out to your home to look at your basement where it is leaking. He might be able to identify some other areas of concern that you may not have realized are part of the problem that you're dealing with. But what I'm trying to get to here is that you're going to be able to have a conversation with him. He's going to look at what he's dealing with before he throws out numbers at you. And he's going to come at it with a lot of expertise, a great crew that's going to be able to get the job done right the first time, and a lifetime warranty to back it up. Call 314-271-9900 and connect with HomeShield Foundation Repair. Online at HomeShieldFoundationRepairs.com.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before. We now have more offices, more staff, and more lawyers than any other injury firm in the world. Protecting America. Fighting for you.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Our YouTube live chat poll today is asking you, did Donald Trump actually win the 2020 presidential election? Your options are yes, no, or I'm not sure. This is in light of some new clips, especially from Susie Wiles, the chief of staff, who's mentioned such a thing. Here is a comment on our stream from Diane. She says, I voted I'm not sure, but I lean towards it was very close. Well, yeah, we know that part. I believe there's fraud and cheating everywhere. Some just don't get caught. Thank you, Diane, for your comment. You can leave a comment on our stream or by texting in 314-241-9797. It is 1:33. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
2026 is a big year for America, and we'll be here with you, celebrating every step of the way. Happy birthday, America, in 2026.
We know China has interest, and we do too. And we have seen what both of us can do last year. And this is where President Xi and President Trump's leadership really came to the fore, is they said, look, we're better than this. We can do this without damaging the rest of the world. It's not that we can put countermeasures on each other. We can damage the rest of the world. And these two leaders are here to try to listen to each other and develop a level playing field for everybody involved.
So there you have the ambassador talking about what this conversation between two presidents, President Xi of China and the President of the United States, Donald Trump, who's traveling to China, what is going to take place? What are the goals? What are the hopeful outcomes? I'd imagine there's an array of issues that could be discussed. And we are going to go to our next guest, Andrew Harding, who is a policy analyst for national security and Indo-Pacific affairs at the Heritage Foundation. Also, the former special assistant for Asia on the National Security Council. Andrew Harding, thank you for coming to talk to us today. It's an important day as the president makes his way to China.
Well, thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
So, Andrew, can you just lay out for us your expectations of topics to be discussed between these two individuals?
I'm expecting that in this summit between President Trump and Chairman Xi, we'll see a compliance check of the U.S.-China relationship rather than anything major that's going to change the trajectory of U.S.-China relations. What I mean by that is I think the leaders for their topics are going to look at how each country has followed through on their agreements made in October 2025. This is when Xi and Trump met face-to-face in South Korea, in which both countries agreed to put on hold some different economic actions, such as export controls, some investigations, some tariffs, but also there were some commitments on different foreign investment regulations, as well as fentanyl crackdowns that China was supposed to commit and following through on. So in addition to checking up on how each country has followed through on those agreements since October, I think we'll see some issues discussed on artificial intelligence, on broader trade agreements, whether that's on corn or soybeans or other issues. I could also see some work on Iran. Certainly one of the more contentious issues, but something I think President Trump is very keen to talk about. And finally, I think the Chinese side will want to talk about Taiwan as well. So those are a few items, but to be clear, I think this is going to be more about a compliance check, seeing how the relationship is moving forward with a potential truce involved, rather than any major changes in the U.S.-China relationship.
Andrew Harding speaking with us, policy analyst for the National Security and Indo-Pacific Affairs at the Heritage Foundation. Andrew, is there a sequential meeting already scheduled on the books? If you're talking about this meeting being a compliance check, is there an anticipated second meeting that is already scheduled?
I'm not sure if it's already scheduled, but in theory, Chairman Xi should be coming to America later this year. That was an agreement that the leaders came to, not explicitly from Busan, South Korea, but as some of the calls and meetings that were coming after that meeting, there was an agreement that President Trump would go to China in early 2026. That's what we're seeing now. He was planning to go in April, but of course the Iran conflict pushed that back. And as a result, Chairman Xi should be coming later this year. So I'm not sure if it's going to be this summer. Perhaps it may be closer to the fall. Some of the agreements that were made in South Korea, for example, have different expiration dates of November of 2026, in which certain tariffs suddenly snap back or different investigations trigger once again. So there is at least a time incentive to have another meeting before or around November of this year.
Okay, so we're speaking with Andrew Harding with Heritage Foundation. I would assume that China would be considered one of our main opponents economically speaking. Don't necessarily seem to have a lot of the same interests or, I don't know, relationships around the world as each other does. How would you qualify the relationship right now under President Trump for the United States, under President Xi for China? Are we at a relatively good place with China in negotiations or just in relationship across all fronts?
Well, I think the president is entering Beijing with a lot of leverage, and that's because since the leaders last met in October, we've seen Nicolas Maduro get captured in Venezuela, and we've seen the successful military section of Operation Epic Fury against Iran. Notably, both Iran and Venezuela have been longtime partners of the Chinese Communist Party. In addition, the United States has done a lot of work in pushing back Chinese influence in Panama, which with the Panama Canal, another important choke point. We talk about the Strait of Hormuz a lot, but the U.S. quietly has done a lot of good work in Panama to push back on Chinese influence there. So I think the president is coming into Beijing with that in mind, with American strength demonstrated, and he's going to be open to agreements with China where it advances American interests, whether that's on purchasing American agricultural goods. Perhaps there can be broader discussions on trade, but also maybe some discussions on holding back on different export controls that would hurt our economies. That could be up to a different conversation here. But importantly, the president should not sacrifice and will not sacrifice American security to get any type of deal over the line. That means preventing China from getting high-end AI chips. It means ensuring China is fully compliant on cracking down on fentanyl and ensures that Chinese investments in critical sectors like automobiles don't follow through in order to ensure that American industries and the American people are safe.
Would you quantify is China an enemy of the United States? Do they subvert our security? I think that they had something to do with a balloon that went across our country, potentially surveilling different locations. They buy up a lot of land near military assets throughout the course of the United States. A lot of questions about the theft of intellectual property. Is China working intentionally to degrade the United States of America, to overtake, in competition, the United States?
100%. China is absolutely America's greatest adversary and is our principal primary threat. And I think that's where President Trump here is walking a fine line here, in which, on one hand, he is open to working with China if it advances American interests. And there are some tailored, narrow ways that can be done. But most importantly, the United States continues to take competitive actions behind the scenes. In fact, just on Friday, the Treasury Department put out sanctions on 3 Chinese firms that were providing Iran missile support for their defense capabilities. That is an unacceptable action, but shows that in the lead up to this moment, into this summit, the United States is cracking down on unacceptable Chinese behavior, even knowing that the two leaders are about to meet within a week since when that announcement was made. So I think it's an example of, yes, China is absolutely our greatest competitor. I believe we're in a new Cold War with the Chinese, and we're actively competing across every domain, whether it's the military, economy, technology, soft power, you name it. We are in a competition with the Chinese to determine what the American way of life will look for the next century.
It feels to me like President Trump is a keep your friends close and your enemies closer, and that he's willing to discuss, negotiate, talk, communicate with China. But what I hear you saying, Andrew, is that the president is fully aware of the threat that China poses to the United States.
100%. And the president has excellent people on his team that are very well aware of what China is intending to do against the United States and the American people. We know that that China is very set on trying to undermine the American way of life. And so what the president is doing here is he is willing to engage, and understandably, I think about it like this too. I do view China as our primary adversary, but I also prefer to have a complicated relationship with China rather than having a relationship of conflict. I do not want to be in a war with the Chinese. It certainly is something that militaries are preparing for around the world for that scenario. So I'd rather see the president engage with Xi Jinping to see if there's any type of common ground or a way to represent American interests. But again, not at the sacrifice of our national security. China remains our greatest adversary. We need to continue taking competitive actions in order to keep the American people safe, while at the same time being open to any diplomatic avenue that could provide some value to the American people in return.
Andrew Harding speaking with us from the Heritage Foundation. Can you compare, contrast we've had President Obama, then we had President Trump, then we had President Biden, then we had President Trump. Is there a pendulum swing in the way we address China as a nation with each of these administrations?
There have been some differences, notably during the Obama administration, the first Trump administration, is when the United States saw a significant change in how it oriented the government towards China. Under President Obama, there was an acknowledgement of China becoming a threat, but there was still, this was around the last few years in which there was this idea that maybe we can engage China. Maybe we could integrate China into international organizations to have a free market, have foreign investment in China. Perhaps it'll allow it to become more friendly, more involved with the United States and aligned with it. But I think after that administration, under President Trump's very wise leadership in the first administration, made clear that China's been ripping us off. He certainly focused mainly on the trade aspect of it, and I think he was very right to do that. But it has since really emerged on a security front, thinking about threats not only against Taiwan, but against our ally, the Philippines, and the South China Sea, and our ally, Japan, with the Senkaku Islands. And now we're really understanding just how China's penetrated here in the United States, whether it's farmland, our education system, the economy, espionage, you name it. So the Biden administration continued many of the first Trump administration's priorities and thinkings, and it's more of a competitive mindset. But now with President Trump back in office here, I think we'll continue to see these actions go while still being realistic of managing any type of expectation where there could be a potential way to support, say, American farmers while making sure the American people aren't hurt by any type of action China takes.
Andrew Harding, it's a pleasure to have you on the show with us. Thanks for giving us your expertise here. We look forward to what unveils over the course of this meeting between President Xi and President Trump. And we look forward to maybe having you back to give us the update on your grade of how the meeting actually went.
That would be excellent. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Andrew Harding, the policy analyst for national security and Indo-Pacific affairs at the Heritage Foundation. Grateful for his perspective there. That's good. The YouTube poll, did Donald Trump actually win the 2020 presidential election? Yes, no, or I'm not sure. Go to the YouTube page, find Annie Frey, Frey, on YouTube, and we broadcast live there every day. And each day's live broadcast, you're going to be able to see the live chat poll in the live chat. I think that the easiest way, people would say, I want to vote in the poll, Annie, but it's hard to find. The easiest way, I think, for you to do this is to go subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Annie Frey YouTube channel. If you turn notifications on for the channel, when we go live, you'll get a notification of that live video, and that's where the live chat poll is. So you could just vote on that at the beginning of the show every day. You keep listening on your radio, but you can go vote there in the poll if you want to. And tell us today specifically, did Donald Trump actually win the 2020 presidential election? We'll take your texts as well. Ryan is monitoring the text line at 314-241-9797. Leave us some of your thoughts there. We'll hit a few of those when we return here on the Annie Frey Show. Don't forget, you can stream us as well on the Odyssey app. If you're coming and going and not always by your radio, you probably are always by your phone. Download that app, the Odyssey app, and follow 97.1 FM Talk and the Annie Frey Show. And we'd love to keep you company. We'll be back in a minute. Stewart's American Mortgage. You know my friend Stewie. I appreciate Stewie so much for helping me in our mortgage, helping me so much that I'm kind of worried about getting out of my mortgage because he got me such an incredible rate. So when rates were super low, Stewie was telling me, and I was telling you as well, but he's like, Annie, you got to get in on this. I did it twice. I did the bagel loan twice. Refinancing my mortgage with the bagel loan, which cost me nothing, and now I have one of those fancy rates in the twos that are maybe never, hopefully in our lifetime, going to happen again because the market would have to crash in order for that to happen. Let me tell you about something he's doing right now for new home purchases, though. There's a very competitive market out there for rates. You want to get the best rate, of course, that you can, and wherever you go to your lender, you're going to qualify for what you qualify for. But specifically with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, he's going to offer you a 1% discount on interest rates for the first year. So you can, for the first year of your new loan, lock in a 1% lower interest rate on a new 30-year loan and still qualify for the bagel loan, which means no closing costs. Call Stewie or text Stewie, 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan as well for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Stan Musial, he missed a season in his prime to serve his country in the Navy.
Honor a legend on Saturday, May 16th when the Cardinals face the Kansas City Royals. Fans can secure a Stan Musial military bobblehead presented by Coca-Cola and Deerbirds. This patriotic collectible celebrates Stan's Hall of Fame career and his service to our country. A true symbol of character on and off the field. A tribute worth displaying and remembering. Don't miss it. Get tickets and details at cardinals.com/promotions.
Paging all nurses and healthcare heroes. This night is for you. Join the Cardinals for Nurses Appreciation on Wednesday, May 20th and Thursday, May 21st at Busch Stadium. With a special theme ticket, you'll receive a healthcare-inspired Cardinal sweatshirt plus a coupon for a complimentary drink. It's our way of saying thank you for all that you do in our community. Don't miss the special theme at the ballpark. Details and tickets at cardinals.com/theme.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS like Mark?
I've been doing home remodeling for 30 plus years, but the economy crashed. I wound up losing my home, losing my job, and on top of that, owing the IRS a ton of money. I owed the IRS $114,000. It really, truly was the worst part of my life.
Then Mark found tax relief advocates.
On news radio, I heard about TRA, and I thought, what's the worst that could happen? So I picked up the phone and I called them. When it was all said and done, TRA settled my $114,000 debt for $100, and I'm telling you, I was ecstatic. Could not believe it. Would recommend TRA to anyone.
If you owe 10 or even hundreds of thousands of dollars to the IRS, don't lose hope. Do what Mark did and call TRA for a consultation.
But TRA did. They gave me a second chance, and I'm forever grateful.
Visit TRA.com or call 800-491-9914. 800-491-9914. That's 800-491-9914.
97.1 FM Talk is proud to support the Guns N' Hoses First Responders Soccer Cup, May 30th at Worldwide Technology Soccer Park. Law enforcement battles firefighters and EMTs on the field, all for a great cause. 971talk.com/events.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back. Happy to have you here with us on a I hope you're outside. I hope you're not inside a small room like we are with the shades drawn, dark, sitting here with Brian Wiggins.
Yeah, circles under your eyes.
Stirkles.
Stirkles.
I hate the stirkles.
I like his catchphrases, though. Got any cheese? Did I do that?
I believe that's
Gosh, Ryan.
Urkel.
Oh, sorry.
Stirkles is
Dark
still nothing.
Urkels under your eyes.
What?
5750. I put it in the chat. I was just trying to show you, but
I can't even. Okay.
If you're outside right now, you don't have to worry about the time.
Not only are we inside a small room with the shades drawn, our chairs are so low we can't actually see each other. So this is a small room, and none of us. Well, can you two see each other?
I could see Ryan.
Yeah, we can see each
but
other.
I can only see the top of your head.
Well, I'm slouching right now. I'm lounging. How do you guys feel about this? What if I just mail in the rest of the show?
Oh.
Hey, Brad's taking a picture of my head right now. Hi. Just the top of my head.
Just the top of your head.
So what we're dealing with right now is the 97.1 studio looks like a patient on a table right now. I'm kind of pumped for it.
I know. Based on how much is destroyed, like it's completely destroyed right now.
Maximum destruction in there. And that can only mean one thing. When we get back in there, we're going to have to learn everything new again.
That's going to be terrible, but
what are they doing? They're putting in new microphone arms.
Yeah, microphone arms, they're up.
I heard Ethan just destroyed the microphones in the last studio.
Mm-hmm. He crop dusted them.
No.
Whenever somebody says destroyed, that's
where you go?
Now would be a great time to remind you that at 2:30 we're going to do X's and Y's, where we define the difference between boys and girls, which I think we've scooped and just done right now.
No wonder you were giggling when they were talking about destroying Iran's navy.
Have we tried that? Has anybody talked
It's where my mind goes.
With an F-18.
Have they tried with an upper decker?
Can I tell a fart story?
You know you can.
It's not actually really gas.
Room.
It's just the way. It isn't. This is my show.
I know.
Wiggins America is on the weekend.
This is our show right now.
My son, so, for the record, there are going to be there's no actual gas being passed here in the story. So lower your expectations.
That's a shame.
Don't prove me wrong by the end of the show.
The story's already
Keep it
boring.
to yourself.
Boo.
I play Fortnite with my kids. I've talked about this before. In Fortnite, you can rename people that are your friends. So if they have a goofy screen name and I want it to say Ryan Wiggins, I can change it to say Ryan Wiggins. Well, Charlie's name, I changed to be Charwee because that's how he said his name when he was little, or even a little SR. Well, he snuck onto my account and renamed his name Favorite Kid. So that it'll be like Favorite Kid joined the group or whatever it says.
Okay.
I went in and changed his when he was out of the room, and I was going to change it to something else, but he hurried up and came back, and I could only delete back to the FA, so I just changed it to say farts. So, what is it called? The squad? What is it called when they join? I don't know.
Squad.
Whatever.
What?
On Fortnite. On Fortnite.
Oh.
But now it says farts join the party, I think. I think it says party. And I know my friends that I've had from forever ago would famously say farts are always funny. And I always thought that was ridiculous and stupid and very immaturely boyish. But every time it says farts join the party, I laugh out loud. It's so funny. Then the farts is always funny thing is finally rung true for me. And that's what I named my son.
Good. Can I tell you that my daughter has begun doing something that's like it's an internal.
Wait, time out. There is still time for you to not tell the story.
No, this is really good. It's she's figured out a really funny way to prank us.
I was going to say, just because you think it's good for comedy does not mean it's good for your daughter.
I understand.
Because your kids are not old enough.
She would be happy with me telling the story.
I don't trust your judgment.
So now, as you know, when you get to a certain age and your kids get to a certain age, you can just say, hey, go turn off that light. And they have to do it. You don't have to get up.
Yeah.
We've gotten to where I'm like, Sonny, go get me some milk. Get me a glass of milk. And she's like, ugh. And I'm like, come on, I'm 44 and you're 11. You can do it. She's like,
also,
okay.
I'm your dad.
And I'm your dad. Just do it. So she's like, okay, she does it. She brings me back a cup of milk, and now it's over and over. This is the joke, unless I specify. It is maybe a 10th full.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, oh, here you go. I got you a cup of milk. Like,
smart aleck.
Oh, yeah.
To the core.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, so we're here now.
That's cute the first time, and then it gets really annoying.
Well, the second,
especially
third time,
when they get it from you.
Yes. And it's been funny. I'm ready for it to end, but I recognize that we're in a new place now, where that level of joke is entered the household.
The truth of the matter is you have to up your game.
Yeah.
You have to make her regret the day she tried to outsmart ass her dad.
Yeah. I don't know how to do that yet without asking for less favors.
If you'd like to come to the School of Smart Buttery, I will
Smart Buttery.
Charge you half.
Smart Buttery. In a segment that started with about farts.
Farts has joined the party.
I think Ryan has named the segment.
We'll be right back. Don't go away. The Retirement Advisory Group, you know, Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw, these are good people. And when you are looking at that retirement age where you're thinking, gosh, I'm almost there, worked really hard, would really like to hang it up. Or maybe you think, I really like what I'm doing right now and I'd like to keep going, but I want to know that when it's time to retire, when I decide, okay, I've arrived, I want to know that I can make that decision. That starts with a conversation with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494. You're going to get connected to the Retirement Advisory Group and just set up a free conversation with them. You can make a decision when you're done talking to Bob and Tammy Kershaw, Thomas Helbig. You've learned everything that they can do for you. You've told them what your dreams and hopes are. You can make a decision what to do next, and I think a lot of you already have, of course, decided to sign up with them. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
This is Congressman Bob Onder. Americans demanded border security, and House Republicans delivered. According to the Department of Homeland Security, for 10 consecutive months, U.S. Customs and Border Protection has reported 0 illegal aliens released at the border. I'm proud to have worked with the Trump administration to secure our southern border and uphold our immigration laws, and will keep fighting to advance strong policies that protect Missourians and keep America safe.
Paid for by official funds authorized by the House of Representatives.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
KFTK FM Florissant from the Kaufman Townsley St. Louis's Injury Lawyers Studio. Call 314-777-7777.
That's 314-777-7777.
Great things will happen. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Those encouraging words from President Trump as he heads to Beijing for a 2-day summit with China's leader.
We're going to have a very good meeting. I spoke with President Xi. We both look forward to the meeting. It's going to be great.
China gets much of its oil from Iran, but the president says he does not think Xi needs to intervene.
We'll win it one way or the other. We'll win it peacefully or otherwise.
Adding he'll only make a good deal with Iran, but Iran is not backing down after President Trump's rejection of their latest peace proposal.
The Speaker of Iran's parliament, Mohammad Khalibaf, posted to X saying our armed forces are ready to deliver a well-deserved response to any aggression. Mistaken strategy and mistaken decisions will always lead to mistaken results.
Fox's Trey Yates in Tel Aviv. This is regional tensions simmer. Kuwait says it stopped an attack on the ground by several members of Iran's Revolutionary Guard, and the UAE has been launching retaliatory strikes on Iranian oil sites. President Trump also saying again prices will come down when the conflict ends. Democrats say a new report showing inflation at a 3-year high is evidence of a failing economic agenda. The Congressional Budget Office now estimates the president's Golden Dome missile defense program would cost $1.2 trillion, about 6 times more than the president has said. That's nearly as much as the entire defense budget request, which lawmakers continue to question.
Every policy we pursue, every budgetary item we request serves to ensure that this department remains laser focused on increasing lethality and survivability of our fighting force from the front lines to the factory floors.
Secretary Pete Hegseth at the first of 2 budget hearings earlier today, the Pentagon increasing the cost of the Iran operation so far to $29 billion. Just getting word, a federal appeals court is pausing a trade court's decision that declared global Trump tariffs unlawful as the judges weigh the administration's request to continue collecting tariffs while the legal fight continues. America is listening to Fox News.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids. Rolaids' dual-active formula has calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. Yeah, you heard right. 2 actives for that powerful relief. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaid spells powerful relief. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds, and you can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required. Rates may vary.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Our temperature is certainly a little bit warmer with the southerly flow going through our Tuesday afternoon. Lots of sunshine out there. 83, 84 should do it. Tonight, scattered showers and a couple of thunderstorms. 59 for the low. Wednesday, sunny, slightly cooler, 75. Thursday, sunny and nice, 76. Then a big-time warm-up for Friday through the weekend and into next week. We're going into the 90s. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation. Upgrade your HVAC system now, and you could qualify for Carrier Cool Cash rebates up to $2,600 and 0% financing for up to 72 months. Rebates available for a limited time. For a free estimate, aircomfortservice.com.
Annie Frey, Ryan Wiggins, Brad Rain.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride. What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Gosh, it's nice outside. I hope you're enjoying it. If you are, a reminder, you can stream us on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Find 97.1 FM Talk, Annie Frey Show. We would love to keep you company. We neglected to talk about this last week, and I had it set aside to talk about. And this is something that really irks me to my core. Here's the NBC News headline. And let me see, when is this from? Because this matters. The date on this article is May 11th, 9:57 p.m. Central Time. So this was just posted last night by Joe Kotke and Dennis Romero. Here's the NBC News headline. Investigation found 27 cruise ship workers, including from Disney, engaged with child pornography. This is according to CBP. So let's dip into this NBC News article a little bit here. 27 cruise ship workers, including some from the Disney Cruise Line, were deported after having engaged with child pornography, U.S. Customs and Border Protection said. The discovery was made last month after CBP officers boarded 8 cruise ships from April 23rd to 27th as part of an ongoing child sexual exploitation material investigation. That's also known as CSEM. CSEM is the acronym. This is according to a CBP spokesperson that released a statement yesterday. More from the NBC News article. The spokesperson said the agency determined 27 of the 28 crew members interviewed, quote, were involved in either the receipt, possession, transportation, distribution, or viewing of CSEM or child pornography, and that their visas were canceled and they were deported to their home countries. 26 of the crew members are from the Philippines. One is from Portugal and another is from Indonesia. The spokesperson said the agency said it would not release their names. CBP did not indicate whether the crew members might be tried in U.S. courts. An FBI spokesperson referred questions about the possibility of prosecution to CBP. They did not immediately respond to questions about what prompted the operation. In a statement, a Disney Cruise Line spokesperson said that the company fully cooperated with law enforcement and that it has a, quote, zero tolerance policy for this type of behavior. While the majority of these individuals were not from our cruise line, those who were are no longer with the company. So the reason why I bring this up is because, and I'm going to go dig back here in my saved articles that I provided myself here. To me, there couldn't be a more perfect case study in the way media manipulates the public because of a preconceived opinion. A story selection is the way that they manipulate the media. And then, of course, story presentation. Mark Cox always talks about his 5th paragraph rule. If you go down to the 5th paragraph of any news article, like that's where the facts of the story are. Everything leading up to it is the opinion that somebody wants you to walk away from that story with. But the 5th paragraph often has the information that you can develop your own opinion on. The reason why this agitates me so incredibly much is I'm going to read to you, let's see here. I hope that they did not update this since they posted it, because this article was posted on May 6th. Now, this is from a website called chipandco.com. And this is a Disney blog of sorts where they, if they update you on whatever. And this came across my feed, and I saw this article, of course, before the May 11th one that was posted last night. U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement detains 10 Disney Magic crew members in San Diego port. The article is all about the detention of these individuals. According to NBC San Diego and eyewitness accounts shared during a local news conference, several crew members from the Disney Magic were reportedly detained by U.S. Immigration and Custom Enforcement after the ship arrived at the B Street Cruise Terminal in San Diego on April 23rd. Listen to this. Passenger Dharma Mehta said she witnessed crew members being escorted into a white van in restraints after disembarking from a 5-day sailing aboard the ship. One of the individuals reportedly detained was the head waiter who had served Mehta's family during the cruise. Mehta told reporters the crew members were still wearing their Disney Cruise Line uniforms and did not appear to have personal belongings with them at this time. This is just the thing that gets me at my core here. It was really unsettling, Mehta said during the press conference, expressing concern about whether the crew members had an ability to contact their families following the detentions. Brad, the story that is put out here, the story is how dare ICE come on to Disney, the happiest place on water? I don't know. They came on there and they took these people, Brad. They took them. It was really unsettling, according to this individual who was disembarking. And the article actually says that this person who was on the ship expressed concern about whether the crew members had an ability to contact their families following the detentions. How? Oh my gosh. Chipandco.com. It's even worse that I can go back and look at the story and still read it as it was intended.
Jeez.
Ryan, there's a situation going on here, and he just went out to check. We don't need to talk about that now, but just to recap you, this initial Disney blog posts this out here. It says ICE comes on and is taking these crew members off the ship, right off the ship, saying these people, they were still in their uniforms. And this one guest said that she was concerned that they hadn't even had a chance to contact their family members. They was in a child's...
Just making sure, we're talking about pedophiles.
We're talking about pedophiles.
Jeez.
But it's run to your keyboard and throw a story out there about, gosh, they're up, ICE is at it again. There are pedophiles on Disney Cruise Line as workers, and the first story you want to post is a point about how unfair ICE is being. You don't even have the facts, and the facts are very damning in this situation.
Yeah. So the political reality of the world that we're living in the United States right now is there is a certain faction of people who actually don't care about even pedophilia now. They don't care.
I don't know. They don't.
There's a larger point they're trying to make. And that's that
Trump they did not know. They didn't even look. They didn't even do the research.
Right.
It was enough that there was a detention of individuals. That was enough for a story. It never even occurred to them. Like, wouldn't you say, if you were going to write something on a blog like this, wouldn't you be like, well, what's the worst thing that those people could be guilty of before I go out there and be like, ICE is at it again? What's the worst thing that they could be guilty of that would maybe make me take pause just to find out? Are they guilty of being in the country illegally, but all they've ever done is try to provide for their family? But their only crime here is that they came into the country illegally? Is there anything else they could be guilty of that might make me go, I'm gonna hold this article for a second so we can find out? This article here, and listen, folks, I understand it. You don't really care what a Disney blog says, but there are a lot of people who are only going to get this news story from this Disney blog.
Yeah.
There are a ton of people who are going to be exposed to this story, and they've already got a predetermined understanding of the situation. And this is just another chapter in ICE is at it again. More from this stupid blog post here. It says the reported ICE action took place the same day Disney Cruise Line and the Port of San Diego announced an extension of their partnership agreement through 2031. Goes on to say, representatives from migrant advocacy organizations joined the press conference, alleging similar detentions involving crew members from other cruise lines in recent weeks. Advocacy groups called for greater transparency from federal agencies and urged cruise operators to provide additional protections and support for international employees working aboard ships docking in the United States. Oh, so chipandco.com wants to amplify these advocacy groups who are saying, if you're going to work in the United States, these people need protections when they come here to work. They haven't even considered the fact that these people are hardened criminals who shouldn't be around anybody, let alone children, on a cruise ship.
Yeah, that's another good point. Is it's a kids cruise ship too, kid themed anyway. But that's this person that's posting this blog is getting their information from somewhere. Now, whether it's from these advocacy groups or whether it's from mainstream media. So they're either completely unaware because the sources they're using are leaving that out, or they themselves are leaving it out. Somebody along the line has decided, let's protect pedophiles because they want to make a political point.
The first paragraph of this blog post is, a troubling report out of San Diego is drawing attention to immigration enforcement actions involving crew members aboard Disney Magic during a recent Disney Cruise Line sailing. That's the first paragraph. So let's go down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then below a big picture, 8. The 9th paragraph says, at the time of publication, neither Disney Cruise Line nor CBP had publicly commented on the specific circumstances surrounding the reported detentions. Hold the thought, chipandco.com, and wait for the facts, because the truth of the matter is, I think a lot of people are. Your readers probably would be interested to know 2 things. 1, that there were these people working on their cruise line, and the real story here is, how did Disney react? Did Disney try to protect them because they were immigrants or, workers on visas or something? Or did Disney has a real opportunity here to come out hard and fast against these individuals and make that the story? If you want to be a Disney-centered fanboy blog or whatever, the story here is, how does Disney handle this situation? And you couldn't take the pitch and wait a day or two to find out what was really going on. The story was somebody was detained who was from another country. These people lose all credibility when they're not interested in facts. They're only interested in the sensational first paragraph here that gets everybody feeling all emotional because big scary orange man's doing it again. And of all places, on a Disney Cruise Line. Yeah, of all places. Check the facts. It makes me so mad. Did you see that story before this?
I did.
Did you see that?
I did.
I wanted to talk about it, but I knew I had more to say than like a 6-minute segment. So I was like, I gotta stretch my legs on this. What do you think about the way they reacted to it? Disney. I mean, there's not a whole lot to know about it, but they've condemned.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like they really have done anything. I don't know whether we can say that they've done a poor job or a good job. It just seems like they've just sort of gone along with the stream.
Yeah. I'm sure they're not. They don't want to throw the story in the front line that there were these people. Like, I understand the PR behind it. This is ridiculous. Well, when we come back, Ethan Sports and Local back in the 2:00 hour. We've got a nice space made for him here in the studio. He's so demanding. He gives us this list of demands, and we just have to rearrange everything when he comes in here. He didn't even come to work yesterday because we couldn't meet his demands.
Yeah, he didn't have a Chase Lounge.
No, now he has a Chase Lounge.
Chase Lounge over
Lounge.
there. Chasse Lounge.
Chasse. Well, he will chasse into the next segment here with Ethan Sports and Local next on the Annie Frey Show. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. If you have a repair that is needed for the foundation in your home, at work, even the concrete around your home or business, I want you to call Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair and get the conversation started, because he can help you fix this and fix it right the first time. For the uneven concrete, the cracked concrete where you've got one part that's settled a little bit, you need to level that out. And when you level it out with a poly-jacking system that Matt Hayes can bring to your location, he takes a polyurethane foam, injects it under the concrete, raises it up, and levels everything out with a 5-year warranty. You're not going to have that liability, that hazard there in your home, your business any longer. While we're spending more time as the weather gets warmer, it's so pretty outside right now, don't allow that hazard to trip up somebody, yourself included, and, cause something pretty bad to happen. Reach out to Matt Hayes at Home Shield Foundation Repair at 314-271-9900. HomeshieldFoundationRepairs.com. Every
Yee
time.
doggy. That's what it is. Hi, guys.
Hi.
I got so much space in the studio, I don't even know what to do with myself.
It's crazy that you made Ryan stand in the corner.
Well, that's usually what
Spread your wings and fly, buddy.
It's usually what I have him do when he's being bad anyway.
Hey,
So
Ethan, know your value. Know your worth.
thank you. I appreciate that.
It's worth that much.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Checks out. If you're watching us on the YouTube stream right now, you might notice a flashing light in the studio.
That's another one of his demands.
We have that's the fire alarm going on around our building right now.
Is it actually going off out there?
No, it's not, thank God. It is the most annoying, all fire alarms are obnoxious, right? But this one is the obnoxious of all obnoxious fire alarms. It is ridiculous. So I'm glad that just the light's going off. And as I say that, it stops. But when it first started, I had like 3 people going to me saying, hey, what's going on? So I texted Trisha, and rather than asking what was going on, I just, in all caps, texted, fire, fire, fire!
Yeah?
And she came running down and
You let her
genuinely
yell
was like,
fire
are you
in a-
okay? And I was like, yeah, I'm totally.
Alarm, alarm, alarm.
She checked on you?
She said, I actually have a lot to do today. It's like, I would say I'm sorry, but I'm really not.
I'm not.
It was totally worth it.
I'm not a liar.
Totally worth it. Okay. All right. Well, we got to play some catch up here.
Welcome back.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. I guess I got to kind of hold up my microphone.
It's been a pleasure being
We'll figure it
gone.
out.
You know what? You could really demand that Ryan hold.
I don't know.
Ask Ryan to hold your microphone for you.
No,
Mr. Wiggins.
thanks. You can just get low.
Can a man hold another man's microphone?
No.
Not allowed. Illegal.
Yep.
In 7 states. Most of them down south. The St. Louis Battlehawks.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Beat the Columbus Aviators 31-20 over the weekend. So they continue to heat up. The Cardinals had yesterday off. They begin a 3-game series against the Athletics. We can't call them the Oakland Athletics because they don't play there anymore, but we can't call them the Vegas Athletics yet because they don't play there yet. They're still playing in a AAA ballpark in Sacramento until their ballpark gets finished in a couple years out in Las Vegas. So the Cardinals 3-game series against the Athletics beginning tonight. They recently split their series on the road against the San Diego Padres. The Cardinals just finished up a 16-game stretch where their only off day was a rainout, and they went 9-7 in that stretch against some very good teams. So certainly very encouraging past couple of weeks for the St. Louis Cardinals.
If this team finishes with 80-something wins, it's going to be a pretty good year.
It would not surprise me at all, the way that what we have seen to start off the year. It would honestly be surprising if they finish with less than 80 at this point with how well they have played to start the year.
Did it.
We shall see, though.
Now he's done
We
it.
shall see. We shall
Can you flip
see.
that, please, for me? Just for, for
Ryan, you on
September?
there?
Yep, I'll clip that.
Last night.
Can someone else also clip it so it actually
Yeah, somebody else should also clip it so it gets
Hold
done.
on.
Last night was the finale of season number 24 of American Idol. Any of
Ryan,
you guys
how'd
pay
you finish?
attention?
I barely made it past the 4th round.
How many rounds are there, Ryan?
8.
8. Got
Yeah, I got about halfway through this season.
Yeah, he too
What
is
was
batting
the-
500.
What was the song that knocked you out? What was they just had enough of you?
I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner.
You have that in your pocket.
Yeah.
Waiting to go.
Yeah, well, because I do it all sexy. And they did not like that.
What
Lionel
happens-
Richie was
They
like, I don't need to see
disagree.
this.
They were made to be uncomfortable.
What happens when the background, like the kids in the background start singing? Is that the part where things
I'm
got
not
bad?
really sure that there's a kid part in that song.
Yeah, it's like all the kids sing in the
Maybe
background.
in a version that you do. I
Yeah.
don't do that
Come on, it's
version.
like the last chorus.
No.
They sound like a bunch of kids singing in the background. You've never noticed that? Doesn't sound like that to you, Annie?
Don't look at me. I have nothing
All
to do with
whatever,
this.
fine. Well,
the way I do it makes you feel desperate.
We're arguing
Okay.
over
Yeah,
this.
I want to
Gotcha.
know what love. Like I'm crying
Yeah,
out.
I understand why they
Think
voted
of a
you
guy
out.
that's buzzed in a bar singing karaoke.
Don't even worry that that's my camera.
That's
Ethan.
fine. It's fine. I'm
Ethan's
just dealing with
taking
all this
everything
space over here. It's fine.
Ethan's like, they don't need to see you any.
It's
They've had
totally
enough
fine.
of you.
You know
hey,
why I really got knocked out though?
Why? Why, Ryan?
Oh yeah, tell us more,
Because
please, with this
I
fake
told
reality.
Katy Perry that my favorite astronaut was Gail King.
No!
Yeah.
I don't think
True
Katy
story.
Perry's a judge on that.
Yeah,
show
but he
anymore.
still
I
really
still
wanted her to
told
know.
that, though.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I
good to
think
know.
through the grapevine.
Gotcha. Okay.
Carrie Underwood was
I'm
like,
following. Yeah.
can have none of that.
He said, what about Gail King?
I know.
Unbelievable. Well, a Missouri native won American Idol
Hannah.
on Monday night. Hannah Harper. A Willow Springs native. I guess that's near Springfield, Missouri. So on the other side
You guess.
of the state.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, it doesn't say it right here, but I want to say that earlier I saw Springfield native. So is that enough for you, Annie?
No, this is more than enough.
The city of Willow Springs has declared May 6th as Hannah Harper Day.
Every
Shout
year,
out Hannah Harper.
Every year, just 1 year.
It doesn't say.
Ryan, if you were going to have a day, what day would you want it to be?
Probably May 4th, so that we could take that from Star Wars.
Just and you I'll give it back when you
Nope.
deserve it.
Time anybody made a Star Wars joke, I'd be like, nope, that's mine.
Sued.
It's mine now. Yeah. Copyright.
Did you guys, to get a little bit more serious here, did you guys hear about the shooting that occurred involving Mizzou football player Ahmad Hardy over the weekend?
No.
Ahmad Hardy is Mizzou's running back. Very good running back. He broke Mizzou's single season rushing record last year and was probably a top 3 running back in the country. And at a concert on Sunday morning around 2 a.m. in Laurel, Mississippi, Hardy was shot in the leg and was immediately hospitalized, had to go into emergency surgery, and is okay. He is in stable condition, but basically the point that we're at now is they have not announced whether or not that he will be able to play football.
What year was he?
He was I want to say that he was a junior last year. This will be his last year, I believe.
So he was not done.
No, this was supposed to be the big season. Now they're saying he's moving around. He's making things. It's been an optimistic start, but they said it's going to take a month or so, I believe, for them to really know, like, is he going to be able to fully recover, have the range of motion, the mobility to be able to play football effectively again. So this is not a situation, it sounds like, where it is discouraging to the point that they believe he's not going to play. They just said they aren't willing to say yet if he is going to be able to play. So thankful that Ahmad Hardy is okay, but hopefully that ends up being
hopefully that story ends up
being better than, obviously the start of it.
The worst case scenario. Yeah. Yikes. All right, well, Ethan, can you stay for X's and Y's, or do you have other work to do?
I can try my best.
Okay, well, you don't have to go anywhere. We got a lot of space here for you and everything.
So much space.
You're all cozy.
If I move my arms, I think I might take us off air.
Well, then we can go home. All right, let's do X's and Y's next. If you've got questions for the X's and Y's segment that you would like us to answer, this is where we talk about the differences between boys and girls and ask, why do boys do this and why are girls like that? So you can send us your questions and just put X's and Y's at the very beginning of your text at 314-241-9797. X's and Y's next.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. A question I get all the time is, how did we become the largest injury firm in the world? We have over 1,000 lawyers in all 50 states and close to 6,000 coworkers. Our call center is on duty 24/7. You can reach us at any time at forthepeople.com. But the real reason is we won a lot. When you visit our website, go to our verdicts and settlements. There you will see what our clients were offered and what they were awarded at trial. All those verdicts help us resolve many cases fairly and early. You see, nothing beats reputation. The insurance industry knows who we are. We even have insurance adjusters call us for representation because they know too. We've made it easy. On your mobile device or computer, go to forthepeople.com and we will get busy. It's that easy. Call today. Morgan & Morgan, for the people. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Lockridge, and I'm the host of a new podcast from Odyssey called Family Lore. In this podcast, I'm going to have people on to tell unusual and sometimes far-fetched stories about their families.
I've heard my whole life that she invented the margarita.
And then we're going to investigate those stories and find out how much of it is true.
He gets a patent 1 month before the Wright brothers. Oh my God.
Please follow and listen to Family Lore, an Odyssey podcast, available now on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your shows.
Summer is on the way, or should I say the heat. In St. Louis, it's on its way. Be here before we even know it. If you haven't had your air conditioners checked and set up and ready to go for this cooling season, or if you were told you might need a new one, or you just think this is the time of the year. This year is the time to just go ahead and replace it. Prices are down. 0% financing is available. It's still the best time to call me. Don't put it off. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600 in Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Men, if you're suffering from erectile dysfunction or PE, you're not alone. Most importantly, you don't have to live with it. Paramount Men's Medical Center restores men's sex lives in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, even when Viagra and Cialis don't work. Here's Dr. Simovitz, specialist in men's health.
Paramount Men's Medical Center's painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. 98% of patients see instant results right in the office.
Men are now lasting longer than they ever imagined. And the best part, at Paramount Men's Medical Center, your consultation and first treatment are free. Qualified patients even get their testosterone checked free. Call 314-887-4333. 314-887-4333. Take control of your sex life. Call now. 314-887-4333.
The YouTube live chat poll is, did Donald Trump actually win the 2020 presidential election? We're having a little discussion that has nothing to do with this, off air, and then here I am doing the time check. The answers you can give are yes, no, I'm not sure. Let us know what you think about today's YouTube live chat poll. It is 2:33. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
From Troy, Missouri to Troy, Illinois. 97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative. X's and Y's.
All right, let's just dig into it. The difference between men and women. We believe there are two genders, and we discuss those differences and celebrate them, I would say. Yeah? Which sex do you celebrate more, Ryan?
I would say I probably celebrate men more because I have 2 sons and 1 daughter.
What about your wife?
Oh, she's part of that too. So equally is what I was meant to say.
Anyway, let's get to it. You said, Ryan, you have a question to lead us off with?
Okay. Do women have a
No.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
No, we don't. That's actually the whole impetus for this segment. Do women have a what?
Hey, you're the one who thought that women didn't have a crotch or something, right?
What?
It's a groin.
No. It's a groin.
That's what it was.
I'm very aware of the female crotch.
Here we go.
See?
I didn't do this. If you've got a problem, email Ryan, not me.
Do women have a list of places that they are fine being approached by male suitors? Like,
Single women.
Like, you're fine being approached by dudes.
Like some guy walks up and approaches you, and you like pull out the list, and you're like, "Ooh, no, it's not your day."
This is a parking lot. Not quite.
Sounds like you're trying to ask. It sounds like you're trying to get to something.
No, I'm not. I'm just like, do girls fantasize about having meet cutes in grocery stores
I don't like that
and
phrase.
stuff? Do they like being approached in certain places where if you're like, oh, I'm in a parking garage, leave me alone?
And you're talking about single women.
Single women. All the single ladies.
I am so far removed from that. I can't speak to the modern lady, but I really think that most women, has nothing to do with where. They just want them to not be creeps and to be maybe a little handsome.
Mm-hmm.
That knocks Ryan out.
There's just, to me, there's a parting of ways of men when they express interest in a female. If it's in a location where you don't know each other at all. So not a familiar situation, like you go to church together and you've known each other and you're friends and you've been to some of the same places, and now.
Well, that could be a place where you're meeting a stranger though, in church.
Yes, but we're talking about strangers. That's the delineation I'm making here. I think that women, when a man approaches you and starts to give you his sort of "this is how cool I am" resume, it doesn't matter where they are. And if a man approaches you and makes you laugh, you find them attractive, and they're not just there talking about themselves, it doesn't matter where they are.
Do men approach women with a resume? Like, do they just walk up and go, I play roller hockey and I have a tandem bike?
The tandem bike is where you lose me. Why do you have that?
You just blurt it out.
Tandem bike.
I usually choose Blue Moon.
Yes, but not in that. Not that on the nose. But yeah, there's something. Men find particular parts of themselves. Incredibly impressive.
Okay. Hey,
Like
lady, check this out.
Biceps.
Maybe. It could be physical. It could be, it's usually, gosh, I'm thinking of when I was dating, I started dating Jared in 2004. So I am 22 years removed from this game. But, they just slip in things. They think they're being subtle. They're not. They're just trying to impress. It's like they're just peacocking around the girl that they're trying to get the attention to. And the girl's job is to decide, are they interested in me or are they interested in me being interested in them? Are they just trying to see if they can score the attention, maybe score something else? That's all that matters. But it doesn't matter where.
It doesn't matter where. Okay.
Brad?
Well, I kind of want to piggyback off of that because you said they got to be kind of handsome and not a creep. And I guess my question is there
low cost of entry?
I was going to say, is there a line where the same thing that it would be considered not creepy by the looks of the man versus creepy by the looks of the man?
I don't get it. You guys are all emphatically. You all know.
Yeah. So if
are you? Wait. Are you guys being serious?
Yes, yeah, dead serious.
Okay. Say it again because this clearly resonates with you, and I didn't.
So
understand.
there is a is there a line, and if so, what is that line where the attractiveness of a man determines whether or not the line or whatever that he uses is creepy or he's being a creep versus he's just being a guy hitting on me?
So you're asking if the action is influenced or maybe even forgiven because he's cute.
Right. Yes. So yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, if two guys use the same...
Even if the line is just moved a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you're willing to tolerate more.
I'm going to ask a follow-up question. What is she interested in? Like, what are we talking about? Are we talking about a relationship?
Well, we just
It's
assume
hard to
all
know.
women want relationships.
With you?
I don't know how long they want them to last. You know what
I
I'm
am
saying?
very sad
Fist
to
bump.
report that is not the case.
Okay.
Oh, no.
So
wait,
some,
what? You guys are devastated?
We don't understand. So some women,
no, it is sad.
They
though.
don't want relationships.
No, a lot of women don't. I mean, they don't even keep their babies when they're pregnant.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is sad.
That is very sad. I just figured that
when there's a certain naivete that we are assuming that women have because we're all people who are married happily. 3 of us to our spouses for quite some time, and you guys, Ethan, 2 years, almost now.
2 years in like 3 weeks.
Don't forget.
I had to check my watch.
If you're looking for a relationship, I think it is very typical for men to become more and more attractive to, I think the cost of entry of attractiveness is lower for women if he's not a jerk. I actually think that maybe the more attractive you are, the more a dude will feel creepy. I think you guys are thinking that. I think you guys are assuming that the hotter you are, the more you get away with.
I think in hookup culture, that's what it's like.
For sure.
If that's why I asked the question, because if a girl is looking to hook up, she's probably mostly interested in how hot the guy is.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not something that I can relate to, and certainly I'm not raising my children to live that life. The more attractive a guy is, especially, I'm just making a lot of generalizations here, but the younger they are and the more attractive they are, the more impressed they are with themselves. And the more impressed that a guy presents themselves to the female, the more impressed they are with themselves, the less attractive they are.
What if you could do tricks on the tandem bike? Does that help?
What kind of tricks?
Real
tell
question.
me, Ryan.
You could ride the thing with both like hands on the front pedals and feet on the back.
Next
pedals.
question, or whatever your follow-up question
Next
is.
question is, can a guy be funny and hot? Like, is Liberty Bibberty guy funny, hot guy?
I don't think he's attractive to begin with. I know that
Oh.
You do?
Wait, what?
I don't want to step on your Liberty Bibberty thing here.
You don't like Bibberty guy?
Oh, that's such a hard example. How is this where we are? Because, I mean, he's obviously supposed to be
Bibberty.
A really attractive dumb guy.
Yeah.
He got the job because he's very attractive. I mean, he's not unattractive. I wouldn't, like, insult his looks. I just don't.
You've really done some serious thinking about this.
I think Liberty Bibberty guy is great, but it's because he's funny. I've never even really considered that he was supposed to be attractive.
Handsome man.
Girls just aren't wired the same as guys.
All I think about
Wow,
is Liberty
there's
Bibberty.
the understatement of the century.
But
That's the point of this
it's,
segment.
It's so foreign to us as guys to sit here and think, what do you mean you'd never considered that he was attractive? But he's funny, and that matters differently than like physical
Do
attractiveness.
you assess
to
the
guys.
attractiveness of every female on television in a commercial?
Brad does with males, apparently.
I know.
He's trying to figure out if Bibberty guy's hot.
He's
And
like,
whoa, I didn't bring up
He's
Bibberty
so
guy.
hot. How I know, but you were like,
you already had your mind made up.
Well, I try to figure out what girls find attractive for sure. Why wouldn't guys wonder what that is? I mean, that seems like that would be a core thing that guys would need to know. You know, what
Ethan
is it
has
that,
the smile of the century on his face right now. What are you thinking?
I think that ended for me when I got married. I don't really care what women think now in that sense.
Isn't
of
that
it.
relieving
Doesn't
too?
Matter to
Doesn't
me.
that
you don't care what your wife thinks about you?
No. I'm
Women,
talking about
not-
women in
yeah,
general,
not his
my
wife,
wife
women.
specifically. Like what you just said, like I wonder what women, like how women view attractiveness for guys or whatever. That doesn't
That's
matter.
never
to
been
me.
like that. That's
No,
still
no.
not a curiosity to
Not
you.
anymore. No, it doesn't matter to me.
Well, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's still a curiosity to me.
That's fine. I'm just
Ryan,
saying, I
break
don't see
the tie.
point of it.
Are you still interested in what women find attractive?
I don't
so
know.
you-
I just think Brad keeps using the word curiosity. It was weird.
Are you curious about why?
Wow,
he's using
Ryan.
the word
What a
curiosity?
non sequitur. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, I'm going to ask the men in the room, what do you envy about women? What do women do, have, whatever? And it can't be a physical feature. So
Okay.
just, Ethan, you get out of here and go work for Mark Reardon now. Go. Scram. We already know your answer here. Move along. Thank you, Ethan, for your contribution to the show. What is it about women? What do they have that you envy? Maybe the answer is nothing. Ryan and Brad answer that question, plus the results of the YouTube live chat poll, which you can still vote in. Did Donald Trump actually win the 2020 presidential election? We'll be right back.
97.1 FM Talk, St. Louis Conservative.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We've got a YouTube poll. We want your votes in. If you haven't yet, on the Annie Frey YouTube live broadcast right now, did Donald Trump actually win the 2020 presidential election? Yes, no, or I'm not sure. Go vote and let us know what you think. We've got a few X's and Y's questions before we wrap up the show and hand it over to Mark Reardon. I asked before we went to a break to you guys, what do you envy about women, or what do you wish that you had that women have? And it can't be something physical. That's the cost of entry here. Brad?
Yeah, when I think about this, what I guess what I envy is the unconditional appreciation that women get more than men do. I think that men place a like, they look at their spouse or whatever, and prior to anything, they love them unconditionally, and they put them up on a pedestal, and society treats them as such as well. I think that society values women unconditionally, for sure. I think that there are some disappointing things, but overall, I do think that there is a societal attitude toward women that is, you are a woman, you are of value, and when you look at men, it's more of, you are a man, what are you doing to contribute to society to make you of value?
So you want society's appreciation?
Yeah.
I have a nice answer and I have a mean answer.
Take them.
And I'll do both.
Mean first.
Ooh, okay.
Does it make you want to be less mean?
Ooh, okay. So my mean answer is, I think that women, here's what I envy that women have that I wish I had. The ability to say, I'm a woman, and just get contracts.
What do you mean?
Because that happens in Illinois politics all the time. Like Illinois, state governments, not just Illinois, and sometimes federal, depending on who's running the federal government.
Like the minority and women-owned thing, which is just basically everybody but white dudes.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's the thing I envy the most, because it is with zero qualifications. It's just, I'm a woman, and then you can get contracts.
Yeah, it's not that they
easier.
don't deserve it, but their gender is not the thing that makes them deserve it.
That's exactly right.
It's not really either of these the intention of my question, but okay, go on.
Yeah, well, but that is the truth. Like, that's the thing that I envy the most.
There are people who have, if you're in a marriage and you own a business, there are people who have to make it so that the woman owns the business so they can get business.
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. And that's not just true in Illinois, although it's very true in Illinois for a lot of government stuff. The nice answer is, there are characteristics that women have that I appreciate. I can't say I envy them or want them, but a woman is much more nurturing, caring, and just kind. And I value that in women, but I don't necessarily envy it and want it because I'm not a woman. That's the nice answer.
Okay. Next question, Brad.
Yeah. What is something that men think is a compliment but isn't actually a compliment?
That men say to women?
Yeah, that men, like a man will give this as a compliment, but it's like, don't do that. That's not actually a compliment.
I don't know if you can, I don't know if there's a gendered version of that. I think it is always relational between the man giving the compliment and the woman receiving it. I think your relationship is what would make something, because isn't it really more about the intention of the compliment?
Mm-hmm.
I would think it ought to be.
Yeah, it should be. It should be.
I don't know. I don't really want any man complimenting me other than maybe my dad, my husband, or my son.
On anything?
Like, what would I want you to compliment me on? I'm trying to think.
Well, if we get done, I say, "Oh, that's a good show." That seems like a very good compliment. That's not.
Yeah, I mean, and you've said that before. If we have an interview and it goes well, you've complimented me on those things before, and I do appreciate it when you do that. I guess
But
there's
that's
a different.
not as a woman.
Yeah,
right? So that's different.
that's the point.
Yeah.
I don't. Give me examples Brad, of compliments that a man might say to a woman, and I'll tell you if I would appreciate them from a man that isn't my father, my husband, or my son.
I don't know, something like, "Oh, you look lovely today. You look glowing."
No, don't say that.
I might say, Annie, good job on getting that government contract. And genuinely mean it.
but like if the intent of the guy is just to be complimentary and be nice.
Yeah, but you don't need it. Why do you need to do that? Why would you need to tell? I don't speak for women here. I speak for me. But do women? This would be a good Friday poll. Like, do women want compliments about their appearance, their look, from men who aren't family?
Okay,
because I don't think
I got a situation.
I'm a no.
Okay,
especially if you're married. I think that matters.
Let's say absolutely. I agree with you. But let's say that this team right here had to get dressed up to go to some important political event.
Okay.
And you got dressed up, and I said, "You look great." That is a compliment specific to you because you're a woman. I wouldn't necessarily say that to Brad. I might, but not in the same way.
Kind of depends if I look great and if he looks great.
You would use the word sexy to me.
I would. You look sexy, Brad. I wouldn't use that with Annie.
Thank you.
If I complimented your looks in that sense, you got very dressed up. That would seem fine to me, right? To me.
Yeah, I think it would seem fine to me.
This is the crux of the question, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know you, so I wouldn't take it wrong. And I would know that you intended it to be nice, but I don't need to hear it. I wouldn't necessarily. And again, I'm not speaking for women. So there are women listening right now like, no, compliment the heck out of me. I want them all the time. So maybe those women exist, but I would not need to hear. I don't need to know that you're thinking about how I look. Because we're professional coworkers. Like, I feel like that is a separation. Now, my husband, I can tell the second I walk out of our bathroom into the bedroom if he's getting ready in there and I've come out and he has not seen what I'm wearing and now he does. He didn't have to say anything. I know immediately that he is in favor of or he's going to say something nice. And those are different things. Like, if he does, I just know. And I want that from him. I want that feedback from him because I want to know how he sees me. But I also want to know from his initial reaction exactly how it is that I look. So, I don't know. You can compliment me, and then I'll tell you if I like it or not. How's that?
Tomorrow
at
12:05.
Oh, gosh. Did Donald Trump actually win the 2020 presidential election? Yes, no, or I'm not sure. Ryan?
Yes.
Brad?
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure. We have 230 votes in here. No, he didn't win. 10%. 19% say I'm not sure. 71% of you said yes, Donald Trump actually won the 2020 presidential election. Keep it right here. The Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk. Next.
So beat the drum with me.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Ethos.
There are 4 million multi-generational homes in America. A Realtor.com report says that's a slight increase from 2019. Rick Sharga, founder of the C.J. Patrick Company in California, says aging parents are moving in with their kids.
Maybe because they need some help physically or medically. Maybe because they need the financial help as well. So we do have that.
I'm Rob Hart.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No